can see the screen.
I think we're live. Starting. It says starting. And we're now live. Let's
Uh,
go.
I don't believe you. I'm looking at it. I think I'm your first guest that actually has the stream up.
I have this.
Well, you know
Well,
what?
the
That's
guest.
why I'm here, so I can read the comments and hang out with people.
I know it's a good thing because like sometimes I'd be saying some shit that I probably shouldn't say.
Oh shit! You got Nate in the background.
Oh, we are live. There we go.
Yeah, there's like an 8-second delay. So.
Oh yeah, because every time you stop the
For
live stream,
well, for stream snipers, yeah.
yeah. Well, you stop the live stream before you like are done
Oh
talking.
gosh, I keep hearing audio. All right.
You're good.
Jeez. Hopefully I don't hear that playback in the background. But yeah, awesome. We are here. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas in Brazil right now. As we watch
Brazil,
Santa, except
Is that where Santa is right now?
yeah, he's in Brazil, but Sao Paulo. But for some dumb reason, the website has decided to break. Let's see if we can get this website to work.
I mean, that's just like on track for what's going on. I could just do this.
I mean, that probably helps the stream out. Well, okay, so now it's gotten even worse.
Yeah, it did.
it was actually loading earlier.
Santa's headed into a heavy storm.
Dude, I don't know if Santa's gonna make it.
Bro,
do you see the memes about him at, like once he gets into New Jersey? You better watch out for the drones.
No, I haven't seen that one. I saw the ones where like they were talking about the U.S. is gonna shoot him down with cruise missiles.
It's all those drones, man. That's what they're for. All right, so you can at least kind of see some of the places he's going over now. But
he's skipping Herbie's house.
Yeah, well, welcome in.
Thank you.
Very Merry Christmas Eve, as it is over here. But
I was going to wear like a.
But obviously, we're all here because we don't have any friends, so we're.
Yeah.
We're like, I guess
these are my friends, so like, hanging out with. Just hang out with you guys.
Hell, dude? That's crazy.
I know. What's up, Malik? But I mean, hey, we got our first Make-A-Wish candidate up for bat here. You know, he's been commenting so much in the chat. And we're like, you know what? I think we're gonna make his wish come true, and we're gonna let him on.
Well, I think it was about time.
Yeah, I know. Well, welcome in, Charles Murray. Who calls you Charles?
Why you got?
That's my first.
People I went to high school with call me Charles.
Oh, okay.
Do you like it?
I don't care. I've been called so many names. So I grew up being called Tyler because that's my middle name, and then when I was in like third grade, there was like 6 other Tylers, so I started going by Charles. And then everybody started calling me Charlie for a while, and now everybody just calls me Chuck. So
Chuck's pretty tough.
Yeah.
I don't know if it says it.
Chuck.
I mean, it kind of just works, you know. At least people can remember something about you, because it's not your personality, that's for sure.
Yeah. I want people to remember me as little as possible, actually. Because usually I say a lot of stupid shit, and then they're like, I remember you said something. I'm like, oh, god damn.
Yeah. You're a memorable guy on our live streams during the events, dude.
Am I? Oh, well, yeah, because I'm sitting there talking trash to all the
comment goers.
They're like, this is not drifting. I'm like, shut up, you don't know anything about drifting.
Carry on. Jog on, man.
And then obviously, thank you for Herbie being here. I had someone to help me hold down this fort, because who knows where this conversation is going to go, honestly.
I mean, I'm not any help for that. What do you mean?
All I can say is Herbie, great hair day, dude. I had to say it in the live stream. I know I said it already.
I made sure I did it nice again today for you.
So I think Nate noticed that every time that I've been like sharing my little like picture of the live stream, I put a little GIF hair over your head.
It's fantastic, man. Fucking A. Well, while Santa's hanging out in Brazil, what have you been up to the last, couple months in this off season? There's been a couple things that you guys have been working on over there, huh?
No, it's pretty low key. Nothing's going on.
No, well, I mean, for you, honestly, it makes sense. But First, let's actually let's just go into like what you actually do, position wise, other than like sucking dick for a living. Like, what do you actually
Jeez,
Nice.
we're going there, huh?
do?
Going there. So what I do for a living, or what I do like?
Well, like in the drifting world.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just a photographer and more recently like a media consultant to help these guys like learn how to do their media.
Yeah.
I also do a lot of editing for like Hyperfest. I edit all the reels, not all the reels, but most of the reels for them. And then of course, like recently with the Rec magazine, I initially started shooting FD for US Drift. Actually, no, we can go further back than that, but
Mm-hmm.
that's how this all started. I started shooting US Drift, got into FD with them, and then Brian Eggert bought Wrecked Magazine and all the rights to it. And so now that's what we've been working on the past few months with the Drift Indie guys, Edgar and Sean and Sarah, to just try to bring Wrecked Magazine back, kind of grow it into something like Edgar keeps saying, you want to take over the world. But yeah, so that's what we've been working on.
Oh, yeah.
I've never worked at a magazine before. None of us ever have. So it's been a lot of like learning. But
Well, I guess the question is like, was there at least like a conversation before Brian? So just to be clear, just so people don't know, Brian Eggert, guy that runs US Drift, he is the one that he's the one that bought it, correct? Like he's the guy that owns Wrecked Magazine, right?
right.
So was there a conversation before he bought it, or like was there like, hey, this is an opportunity? Like what was that like beforehand, or did he just kind of spring it on you guys? And he's like, hey, I bought this.
So for me, he initially asked me, he's like, "Hey, what do you think about creating a like team of media across the country that can potentially write articles?" And I was like, "Cool." So I found like one person from each region that I could think of, and then I was like, gave him the list, and then he's like, "Cool," and I was like, "All right, that's it." And then like a month and a half or 2 months ago, Brian comes up to me and says, "Hey, I bought Rec Magazine. This is what we're gonna do. Don't say anything about it." And I was like, "Oh, so that's what that was for." Um, so yeah, he does a lot of stuff that's like that. He's got his hands in everything. But yeah, it was kind of surprising, and I was like, "Cool, this is awesome." I know nothing about magazines,
Right.
so
Well, do you
it's
know
been
much about Wrecked, like beforehand? Like, have you done
yeah.
some
I'd
research
seen
on it? So, like,
uh,
if you want to explain to people kind of what it was before
I
Brian.
used to tag them all the time in my amateur photos.
yeah. So
I did.
yeah, so Rec Magazine was essentially, I mean, it was supposed to be just about drifting, but it was about Formula Drift, and he would try to find like different um like rumors and stuff to post about
Yeah.
upcoming liveries, then post event coverage, stuff like that, interviews. And what we want to do is kind of like take that and just spread that out. So now we're doing next year, we want to do 4 digital copies of like 100-page magazine. And then at the end of the year, do a full print of whoever. I mean, we'll probably do pre-orders and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
see how many people actually buy them, and then do a full print. And yeah, well, we're also going to keep doing the FD coverage, but we're trying to spread out to also grassroots stuff and maybe other party events like Grid Life, Hyperfest. I know Clutch Kickers is coming back. You know, all the events that are going on. That's why we want so many people. We may not be able to pay everybody, but like um, initially, but we'd like to at least have some contributors. So that's really what we're reaching out for. Excuse me. Whew.
Yeah.
Um, um, and we're like trying to bring back forums because I know nobody goes on forums anymore, but it's at least some place for
Yo,
people to talk shit.
Zilvia, dude.
Yeah, just well, I'm a Volkswagen guy. That's where I started. So like
Okay.
I was always on Vortex.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like that site, but my Volkswagen boys, they were be on there. But yeah, big Zilvia guy.
yeah.
And the come up BMX, that was another good one. That was when LZ was on there, and then now he's out here.
Yep.
LZ, LZ who? Never heard
As Sarah refers, lemon zest.
Lemon zest. That's great, dude. That's
I got a
awesome.
funny story about the first time that I met Adam.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
it was like Hyperfest 17 or 18, I forget. It was one of the first ones that I went to. Um, and I was friends with Mike Crenshaw, still am. He's the media mastermind behind RTR.
Yep.
And so RTR had their trailers on one side of the skid pad, and LZ had his like perpendicular right next to them. And there's that little like patio thing where all the picnic tables are next to it.
Yep.
And they had a hot dog stand there. And so we ordered hot dogs. I was talking to Crenshaw, and then I sat down, and Adam sat down across from me. And I was like, hey, it's a nice car you got over there. He's like, yeah. I was like, so what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a YouTube guy. I come from BMX. I was like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. He's like, yeah. And I was like, all right, whatever. We chatted a little bit about cars and stuff, and then I went about my way. And then later I like looked him up, and I was like, oh shit, this guy's like huge.
What do you do? Is
dude, there's so many. I mean, there's so many times that I've run into people that I didn't know who they were, and then it turns out like they're like big famous in the car industry or wherever, and I'm like, oh, cool, that's kind of awesome. But I feel like for them, it's probably a little bit like relieving because everywhere Adam goes, now that he's been in FD and stuff like that,
right?
People run into him all the time and just bother the shit out of him. So it was probably like refreshing for someone to be like, never heard of you. So
right, yeah. No, it's I mean, when I do anything with Adam, like I try to always be respectful because I can like with his time, just because I know that dude, like you watch that dude in like an event, like during an FD weekend, dude, it's chaos over there.
Yeah.
Like he's got lines upon lines of people trying to get his autographs and stuff, and it's just like it would seem so overwhelming just to try and handle all of those people that want to see you. It's a pretty
it's
crazy
just him
thing.
And his one like videographer that like make all of his videos, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mike, and it's crazy because he runs his own Instagram. Like, could you imagine that?
Yeah, no, because we talked to him about doing some stuff with him and like various platforms and stuff, and like he doesn't like to do business stuff on his Instagram. He likes to keep that one like as a personal thing, which is cool. But like, I just can't imagine like handling all that yourself. Every post is you can't
very organic and genuine now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm for it. It's cool, but at the same time, like. I run pages for Drift to Appalachia, US Drift, Hyperfest, and Wrecked, and it's just like that's all of those together are a fraction of the follower count that he has.
Yep.
And it's insane how much like dealing with those are.
Right. I mean, even with like so obviously I run all the social for Link and stuff, and it's like like you really can't just keep on, like you can't check notifications with that kind of stuff just because there's so much. You have to have like you're set, like I have certain things set up so that I only get what I want to see, basically. Like if you like the post, cool, thank you for liking the post, but I probably did not see that I guarantee you I didn't see that notification because you get so many. It's like, okay.
Well, that's another thing. Like Larry runs his own socials too, and he responds to every DM. That man has over 1 million followers and responds to every single DM.
That's wild.
I'm like, what? How do these people find the time?
Right.
It's crazy. Yeah, I do that. I do that for Link, and I'm just like, trying to find time to to do my other parts of the job, while also answering everyone's questions about will Link ECU work with my my Hemi and my charger? I'm like, yes,
Ryan,
but that takes a lot of work. Do you want to do that? Because I don't think you do.
Ryan Onspach, he's the owner of Race Bread and Langley Drift Club. He just texted me, "Hey man, I just want to let you know I joined your stream to tell you to shut up, but I don't have it in me to do. I don't want to be rude, so I said it for you, Ryan.
Yeah, let's go.
I don't care. I'm trying to hear about Chuckster's military career.
Oh gosh, you were in the military, man?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Man, they just let everyone in the military now, don't they?
And it's worse now. Herbie could get in.
He would love me. No, I'd be like doing my first physical thing, and I'd be needing an inhaler.
Dude,
I
half the
could
time I
just
feel like
I
I
could
need
just
one
see
of
him out there, and he's like, like how the sniper scopes like they light up like when sunlight hits him. He see him, he walks out, and he's
He
like
just
his
walks
head's
out
just a
in his
light
head.
beam.
That could be a good defense, dude. They won't be able to see.
No, that's the point though. You're like a light bulb for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, I can't talk much about that because
You're still active.
I'm still active. But
Yeah,
yeah.
He's
You're,
chilling. He's
you,
having
you
Yeah,
a
might
very,
not tell by
very.
looking at him, but he's still active.
You gotta have
good
the old
old boy.
mustache.
Yeah.
I got the trial version of a beard.
Exactly. God.
Oh, Zach's in here. What's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Fucker.
We
He's
also
the
got
guy with
Caleb.
the.
Caleb, I am sorry that this is the show that you were actually able to make.
Yeah, I saw that. He's like finally able to catch one of these live. Well, sorry, dude. We can talk about my drifting, I guess.
I
I'm
know,
not a
right?
pro.
Actually, I do think it'd be fun though to talk about some media stories at FD. Like, what is media like at FD? Because
The people?
well, just doing it at
Just
FD and
doing
like
it.
Oh.
and like, what is some of the do's and don'ts and kind of go
Well,
about that. But I want to hit more of Rect before we get into that stuff though,
yeah.
because like when you first told me about it, I was like. I was a little confused because I was like, this goes against pretty much everything that I would think would work. No offense, but I want to know how it was pitched or like where you get the belief. And because you started talking to me about it and I started to understand, but I kind of want you to explain like what the angle you guys are taking that kind of would, make you think this work a little bit.
So right now there's no print
Mhm.
magazine for drift at all.
Correct.
None of them. The closest thing that we have is Grassroots Motorsports, which love those guys over there. They come along to Drift Appalachia a lot. But yeah, so there's no print. A lot of these drifters that are coming up have never seen their car in print, and that was kind of like a thing that we think is really cool. That being said, Wrecked Magazine isn't just going to be a magazine with articles, right? We're going to
Yep.
do YouTube, socials, and it all falls under the Drift group, right? So US
Okay.
Drift Indy, Drift Indy Street League, Wrecked Magazine, and Drift Appalachia are all they're all entities of the Drift group,
Gotcha.
which is the six of us that I mentioned before.
Mhm.
So Rex is just a part of that, but the video series that we want to start, the prints that we want to do, like all of it seemed, and everybody that we talked to were like, what do you think about, have you ever had your car in print? And, I have photos in Grassroots Motorsports, and those guys that I took photos of, they're like, that's crazy. I've never seen my car on paper before. And I was like, awesome. And
Right.
so that was kind of like a thing that we were selling, and people seemed to go for it. And I think it's cool as like media. Everybody wants to see their stuff in a magazine, right? Like,
right.
well, I'm publisher. That was never like a thing that I cared about until I had it. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. I like,
Right. Yeah.
I could see
Well,
the allure of it.
Well, because I remember when I was in like high school and stuff, I'd get my picture in like the local magazine for like sports stuff, like when our sports team did good and whatnot. Like I'd have a picture. Like I have, I remember. So a little story from my younger years. I stayed with a family my senior year of high school because my like actual family like moved, like kind of like right before the year. So I didn't want to move high schools right before then. So.
Right.
But the family I was staying with made this really cool collage of just articles from various papers that would cover the local high school or whatever. So it was kind of cool to see my picture. Hey, this guy did this in soccer or whatever, and so or hockey or whatever, and so it was kind of cool. But
Yeah.
like,
No. 100%.
so I understand it. I've also actually, I mean, I've printed some stuff for like back when I took pictures. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago. I did prints and all that kind of stuff too. It's actually pretty cheap too to do if you know what you're doing. But like that was always like drivers really liked it when you were able to offer that kind of stuff and there's a lost art to it, I would say, as well.
Yeah.
But like,
Well,
Well,
yeah.
I have a Canon large format printer that sits right here. It's not like the huge one like Larry
mhm,
has, but it's and I've printed stuff for some of the local guys here, and even the funny thing is, I was telling somebody the other day, I've printed a lot of photos that I was gonna hang up for myself of
Mhm.
just like racetracks, like
yep.
VIR. I've taken some really cool ones, and then I ended up selling them. So like none of the photos in my house are mine. Like I
Oh
have
wow.
one that sits above my computer
Yeah.
that is one of Larry's prints. Funny story about that. I went to buy a second one from him because he was also giving out like one of his camera car pins with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, cool. I want to do this again. I'll send you a picture that I want." And he's like, "Why don't you just print your own pictures?"
Yeah.
And at first, I was like, "Damn, it's kind of fucked up." Like, is he telling me to f off? And then I was like, "No, he's helping me out. Like
Yeah.
you could do this. Just print
Yeah.
your own photos." And so that's when I bought. I literally the next day went out and bought this Canon printer, and I
Nice.
started printing my own. Yeah,
Is it
but
like the same color profile and everything?
oh,
They're nice. Those Canon
phenomenal.
printers are insane.
So everybody that I talk to, they're like, "Oh, you can buy this cheap paper. You can buy, this third party ink." I don't. All the stuff that I buy is like Canon premium paper
hmm
and their ink for it because it's a little bit more expensive. I've never really like overcharged for like Larry's prints are very expensive, but they're actually
Yeah.
cheap for what they are. Right? It's a
Right.
one-off Larry Chen print. But I usually just do mine. Scott says, "You suck." Not really, haha. I see your chat, Scott. Stop texting me. I need to put my phone on silent. Everybody's texting me. Um, this is the problem when you have media folks on here. Everybody's like got each other's numbers, and they're just like, "Oh, fuck you fucking
Yeah. Yeah.
nerd."
Right. Yeah. Welcome to doing media in FD. We'll
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
it, man. We'll get to it.
But yeah, so I don't even know where you're at.
Oh, you're talking about your prints.
Oh yeah, so I try to like obviously cover cost of the print, and then maybe
hmm
like an extra $10. So, but I think it's cool just because what it looks like on the paper when it comes out of the printer is so phenomenal. Like,
Well, I mean, obviously, screens have come a long way in the last 10 years, but it's still not
mhm,
print. It still is different.
right, yeah, yeah. The way the light hits it, when it's on a wall or something, it's just different on like a phone or even like a computer
Yeah.
monitor.
You
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
different types of surfaces, finishes, or whatever.
yeah, and so that's another thing that we wanted to do with the magazine, right? So there's a lot of cheap magazines out there that they're trying to keep costs down, printing on cheap paper, but we're gonna do like premium matte paper, a good high quality magazine, just because why would we want to be the cheap stuff? Like,
Exactly.
They,
I mean, and that's in my opinion, this is where it becomes like a nostalgia niche type of
so
thing
that's
where
what Brian was saying was this like it's nostalgia's coming back. People are all into the 80s and 90s style. Why don't we bring back print magazine? If it goes, it goes. If not, we can still stay on digital. We'll still do the
Mhm.
prints no matter what. Like that's not really a driving force to us. We do want to
Right,
eventually get to like either a quarterly or a bi-monthly print. That's our 3-year goal.
right,
yeah.
But that's not really the driving force for what
right.
why
Well,
we
that's
we want
yeah,
to do
that's
it because we want to.
yeah, that's not going to be the big money maker, but I do think it's a really cool idea still, and it could be, like theoretically, it could spawn into different types of stories all over the country, and I mean, obviously, you guys are gonna cover the series that you work with really well in the magazine, but it would be interesting to see how like the rest of the country would get covered and stuff like that. And
So, fun fact, we actually had a discussion because we have meetings every Monday, which is
right,
a new thing for me, like having business meetings. Um, but we have meetings every Monday, and we talk about what are we going to feature in Rect. And me, who is the U.S. Drift guy, and Sean, who is the Drift Indie guy, have both pretty much said we'll let the local guys capture that stuff, and we'll focus on getting content from everywhere else.
mm-hmm.
So, like, yeah, we're going to feature U.S. Drift and Drift Indie, but that's not really going to be what we're focusing on. We want to focus on the stuff that either people don't hear about or it's just pretty much anything, but we want to focus on a lot of the stuff that's kind of like lower level, may not be up there, but it has to be good, right? Because
Yeah,
Sean, or not Sean, but Edgar and Brian have been around the game for a while. So
Right.
some of these new jacks that come up and aren't really doing it right, they want nothing to do with them. So
Exactly.
Or the entitled like attitude and everything, you know.
yeah, well, a lot of these guys, and I see it because I'm in the meetings with them, right? I see it where they want to start their own events, but they don't ask questions. They don't try to figure it out, and then they just there's one that came up tried to get us to advertise for them, and they're like, "Yeah, we have this $10,000 pot," and we're like, "Okay, well, how much are you going to charge the drivers? Where's it going to be located? How are you going to make money off of that?" They had no idea. They're like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Well, you have to have a plan.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's a business." So
Damn.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean that's always the challenge. Is like there's been so many people that have gotten burned with bad drift organizations over the years, and you it's crazy because you see them, especially in the Midwest here. Man, you see drift organizations go and come and go like every year. Every
yeah,
year there's like 2 or 3 new ones, and they're all gone within a year or two.
And
It's
the hype
crazy.
is always like, we're gonna be tonight, you know.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
damn.
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Because like drifting is like becoming popular again. I guess it was kind of like, it goes to the meteoric rise, and then it kind of like, and then it hits another like
Mhm.
fan base, and then it goes up again. So we're on that second rise or
Yeah.
third, and so people are like, "Oh, I'm going to host my own drift events," and then it's like they realize that it's not as easy as it sounds. First of all, because there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes with
Yep.
insurance and getting organizers to allow you to have a drift event at their track and all this other stuff.
Or you can burn bridges real quick at tracks too.
Yeah.
We've seen that in my area a lot.
Yeah.
So luckily, I got a local organization that seems to know what they're doing now. So I'm pretty hyped on that. So
Solid.
yeah, but as far as like beforehand, it was pretty rough up in here in Michigan before like 2 years ago. Yeah, it was like, ugh.
Yeah, I've seen you drift in your E36 up there, man.
I'm
That video
trying.
that you just put out looks good. I like
I'm,
it.
I'm
Yeah, dude,
trying.
look at you
Yeah.
go.
I'm trying, but it's like it's just I don't know. I just need to drive more. But obviously it's
dude.
what 20 degrees out right now, and we got about
Yeah.
about half a foot of snow right now. So
What's up with that the John Deere thing?
oh my gosh. Okay.
What? Did I miss
Dude, this is the
Crazy.
okay. I'll bring it up just so people can know what we're talking about. This is the goofiest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe
You
this is getting brought up, but
Oh, what is that? Is that a snowplow?
It's got like a snowblower on the front of it or something, and then
It
bro,
looks like it's a lawnmower, but you put some kind of box on the top.
that's exactly what it is. Let me just bring it up and then we'll
did you just find this thing on Marketplace?
no.
You had
So
to.
this is the thing. It's it's literally a lawnmower, and then they put a box on it. And now this is like a lawnmower from like the 80s, early 90s. I don't know when.
Dude, this thing looks awesome.
So it makes like 2 horsepower, and and then it actually like for some reason it has a blower on the front. So my father-in-law had it, right? But he's getting older and he couldn't get in and out of it. Like I don't know. This thing was made for people under the size of 5 feet tall. Like I can barely fit in the thing.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
can see you all like crouched over, like.
Oh, there's audio. But yeah, so like I can barely fit in this damn thing, right? And by the way, it's already broke twice since I've used it. But so he can't fit in it anymore. But it works and everything. I think he had a couple things fixed on it, but like I was like my wife loves it for some reason. She like thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. And so she told me one day, she's like, "Yeah, hey, by the way, can you go over to my dad's and pick up that green box like John Deere blower thing?" I was like, "Wait, what? When did I agree to this? I'm the one that has to work on this thing."
Yeah.
You know? And
Yeah,
so
but when
yeah,
it works, look how fun you could have. Like,
dude.
that thing is sick,
Dude, she just loves it. I'm like, okay, because like usually we like well last year we kind of it doesn't snow a lot where I live. Usually it's like once or twice a year we get a good dusting and then like it goes in and out outside of that. But yeah, so we usually have someone that comes in and plows like once or twice a year. But yeah, so now I have this thing that snow blows and
Malik, that's
awesome,
like a
dude.
mini killdozer, is what Malik.
Dude.
Yeah,
Nate's
So-
gonna go on a rampage in a Christmas village.
yeah.
For
With
real.
fucking with what, like vinyl windows?
No. So it's literally it's like shower curtains. It's like shower curtains on the side of the doors. Let's see if you can see it better in another picture. Yeah. So look, this is literally shower curtains, and you just like they hook up to the side of the back, I guess, tower or whatever it's called, and then you just unhook it and then open it like a shower curtain. It's the
Damn, dude.
I mean, if it works, right?
I thought you got
a little
marketplace
space heater
deal.
in there too.
That's even
There
better.
is a little heater. It
$3.99?
doesn't work, but like it's still like, what is this gonna do? But like, yeah. So it all worked when I got it. I made it through the first pass, and then the hydraulic. So there's a motor underneath, and there's like a hydraulic pump to lift the blower up and down. So that's kind of fancy.
This is a real McCoy.
That's,
But like,
legit.
yeah. So like, long story short, one of the electrical connectors that sends the message to go down broke, and I couldn't figure out how to put it down, so I had to fix that or find it. And then today, I was using it, and it just shut off, and like I was okay, like I ran out of gas or whatever, right? So put gas in it. It was cranking, but it wasn't sparking. And I was like, well, sounds like it doesn't have spark. So I go up, open the engine. Like this spark plug wire is just hanging down. And I'm like, okay, so I'll just try to put it back on. There's like nothing that grabs. I'm like, oh, so it's just holding on by hopes and dreams. This is great. I mean, it made it the rest of the plow just like that. But I was like, okay, I guess I got some things I got to fix on this.
You get yourself like a battery operated space heater or something, dude, and you throw that bitch in there on some Velcro. That thing is mint.
Bro, and max speed legit is like 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Does it got gears? Keep it in the lowest one at all times.
No, there's no
so
gearing. There's just is it a
You got
clutch?
chains on the
There's a
tires,
clutch. There's a clutch, and then there's forward, and you let the clutch out and you go forward. There's a clutch,
Nice.
and then you just push it in, and then you push it in reverse, and that's reverse. That's all it is.
too. That's so cool, dude.
I'm just like, but it worked, sort of. It did clean my driveway off today, but I mean
Well, you
that's
needed to
just.
do it. Have you ever tried to shovel a driveway like manually with a shovel?
Yeah, that's
Is that a real
I-
question? Were you just being a dick?
No, well, so I'm from the South, right? I grew up in Texas.
Oh.
I've lived in
Oh,
Virginia most of my life.
So you've
So
never
when I
dealt with
moved-
that.
So I lived in DC for a year, or close to DC
Yeah.
for a year, and I had to shovel my driveway one time, and I about died.
One time. This
No,
guy
well,
said-
it was a year, but like, yeah, I about died. I do not envy you guys at all because like that sucked.
Yeah, no, it's not fun, and you have to like. There's like certain type of snow shovels for like certain
Honestly,
type of
dude,
things.
It's really not that bad.
No, but like,
it depends on the snow. It's like that's like if you got nothing else to do, like you know that like you're home, you're fucked off. It's like you bring out a little bevy, you bring a little smoke outside, and then, dude, I would go out there in my shorts and fucking slippers on with a Carhartt.
But you guys are built different. I had like 3 layers on when I did it.
Well, you start busting a sweat, dude.
I don't care. That's probably why I was like dying. I was sweating so much. But
yeah,
And it keeps you like moving,
Mhm.
And then like if you just take a second, you could put music in, but you could pause. You got like your hood up, and you just hear the snow hitting your
Yeah.
head. And it's like, man, this is serene.
I
This
did,
is
Yeah.
I did it wrong. I didn't have any music. I went out pissed off. I was like, no,
Yeah.
God damn it.
rookie.
Hey, look, Santa's headed to Greenland, the 51st state of the United States.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm here
man.
for Chuck stuff. What's up, Anton? If you're still here, let me get some fucking sim rig stuff. And Scott,
Yeah, same. You could send him one half of a steering wheel and then another half of a steering wheel for me, but then we also both need a base. So
I just need the base, dude. I got 2 wheels.
okay, well I'll just take the full steering wheel and then
There you go.
I actually plugged mine in last night for the first time in months.
Oh, really,
Nice.
dude? You should let me know. I only roll I play Assetto every once in a while, but my rig is on a stand that's on wheels and it's in like a room across the hall because there's no space in my office.
Yeah,
Um, so
because
like I
mine's
roll.
a wood table. I just pick it up.
Oh,
As,
dude. I'll
um,
send you the link to what I got. It was like 125 bucks, life changing. But anyways, I roll it in here and I hook it up, but I never have anybody to drive with, so I just get on the servers every once in a while and fuck around. And I'm like, I sweated my ass off for 2 hours, then I put it back.
first
Yeah.
cars was pro cars again, baby. I can't resist.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. VDC cars all day.
And then I
Um.
get mad.
So why don't we get into some of the media that you at FD, or like how would you how would you recommend someone get into FD if they wanted to do media at FD?
First of all, if you have to hate money, and then
Money,
that's
Elon Ma.
that's a good start. Hating money is a good start.
Yep.
Um, I don't know. I feel
This
like a
is
lot of
true.
people.
Like, you better not be expecting to make money because that.
No, yeah, and I made a video about this, like how I feel about my photography a few months ago. But like, I know like selling pictures is not. I mean, you have Larry, right? Larry's team is unbeatable. There's 5 guys. You got two photo shooters. No, 6 guys. 2 photos, 2 video, a card runner, and an editor. Right? One person or 2 people is not going to be able to keep up with that.
Yep.
Yeah, they deliver every
And
night.
they're expensive. I get it, but they're also like probably super undercharging for what they do.
They have a
Yeah.
bunch of other revenue sources as well that
Yeah,
helps with
right.
that. Like
They
whether it's
they
Canon or whoever
or
Larry's shooting for, you know.
yeah, they shoot for manufacturers. So
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
as an individual
Toyota.
shooter, yeah, you're not. Don't go into it expecting that you're going to make a lot of money. Also, you have to shoot for somebody. I'm fortunate that and a lot of companies that people shoot for, like I'm sure Link pays for your hard card,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
A year hard card is $550 plus getting to the event. So I live in Virginia, so I usually drive to New Jersey and I drive to Atlanta. Atlanta is like the limit of where I'm willing to drive. But then I
Mhm.
have to fly everywhere else.
Yep.
Plane tickets aren't cheap. If I fly somewhere, I have to stay somewhere, right?
Yep.
So hotels aren't cheap. Usually I crash with Andy from Type
Mhm.
S. That's my boy.
Mhm.
Um, if I go to a California event, I have to have a car because I'm not paying $1 billion for Uber. I actually, for Long Beach this year, I almost just Ubered because my hotel was
This is right
down.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's down the street. It was actually cheaper for me to rent a car for 4 days than it would have been for me to Uber from LAX to Long Beach and back.
Wow.
Because when I landed, it was $106 to Uber from LAX to Long Beach. And I was like, well, if I go back, it's probably going to be 80 to $100. I can rent this car for $220 and I could just park right there. So that's what I did. I just rented
Damn.
a car.
Wow.
But that's expensive,
Mhm.
and then you got your gear, something breaks, maybe you forget something. And then who are you going to sell pictures to if you're shooting for a team? These teams, they got no money unless you're shooting for like RTR or something. But if you're shooting for a prospect team, like,
Good luck.
yeah, I mean, some of these guys try their hardest to pay their media dues, but there's a lot of guys that are just like, can't pay you. Can't even pay for your hard card, but I can get you in the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to just, okay, cool, I just need to get in the door, then you're fine. Oh,
Mhm.
Google's going off.
Yeah. Well, like what I did was I came in with some teams. I basically was doing media for guys in Pro Am,
Mhm.
and basically got in
Exposure
with
bucks.
Getting paid in
yeah.
exposure bucks, baby.
There you go, baby.
Yeah.
But basically, I got in with 3 or 4. I can't remember. There was 2 or 3 teams. I think my first year in pros, it would be Pro 2 back then. Um, and that's just kind of how I got in, is because I was shooting for a couple guys that I became friends with while they were running like a Pro Am series.
Right.
So, and like, and that's what I always say to people is like, go shoot Pro-Ams, go shoot people that are going to be going into FD, because that's the easiest people to go shoot for at the moment, because most everyone that is in FD has someone, or knows people to ask if they need something. So it's always hard when you're jumping in brand new. And then once you get to FD, you know, try and do what you can. Obviously, outside of who the people you need to shoot for, but I will say, like, especially if you're shooting photos, man, like, good luck.
Yeah.
Like,
In this day and age, yeah, once everything's switched over from like regular posts to reels and TikTok and everything, it just turned the photo into like an old format anymore, I feel like, which I love seeing them. I think that the people are coming more into agreement anymore. I think that the rhythm is on an upswing for photos, but
hence the magazine.
it's definitely, once the word got out about Wrecked, it's been no.
Also, I'll have wrecked stickers. I stole these from Brian. He didn't want to give these. But I'll have wrecked stickers for people that like run into me or whatever. Because like I'm huge, like 100% behind wrecked. Like I love the idea that we have. Our 3-year plan takes me to retirement from the military. So like I could just transition to that. I'm not getting paid by wrecked, not yet. Because there's no revenue stream. There's no magazine. There's no revenue stream. But I just like the idea of what we have planned and what we're doing, and I'm like super stoked. So like next year, I won't be shooting for US Drift anymore. I'll be shooting for Rec Magazine.
Damn.
So, like,
sorry, Egbert. I got a new boss. It's Egbert.
Yeah. But for starting, like I started FD kind of weird. So I started off initially shooting drag racing, and I brought these out because I wanted to show people. I started shooting with a Rebel XTI. This is the camera that I initially started shooting on, and I want to bring this to an event one day, but I can't find the battery charger for it. But this is the exact camera that I started shooting on almost 20 years ago now.
Good old crop sensor, baby.
You could probably find a cable to plug it in and do it that way.
Oh, the thing is, I know I have the charger around here somewhere. It's just in crap.
I've been in a pinch like that where it's like, I don't know where the charger is. I'm gonna just plug this whole camera into the wall.
The thing is, I had to shoot a thing for Hyperfest this morning, and last night I was also drinking, and I was super fucked up. And I put my battery on the charger, and then this morning I wake up and realize that the charger wasn't plugged in. I was like, oh shit!
Actually, one of my worst, and I've done this multiple times.
At the hotel we've done.
So with V mount batteries, I have this charger with the V mounts, and they stick them on the charger, right? Well, for some dumb reason, they put a switch on the side that changes it from charging to not charging, and it gets hit all the time when I pack it.
On off, it's like got a middle range.
Yeah. Why? That's so weird.
I mean, you can switch it to like power other things or something. I don't know. It's too fancy for its own good. But but like so I'll put the V mounts on and I won't know that this switch is clicked and it won't charge anything. And I'm just like,
oh no. God, that's gotta be the worst.
Oh yeah, it's a great feeling.
They do last a while, and it's always typically though Thursday night into Fridays, or like, on like the hardest day. So then it's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, we can get by, but like
stay conscious.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like the one that like it's just a live stream. Whoever's running a live stream, that's when it like starts to drain the battery. Otherwise, like you could go like a whole fucking weekend on one of them babies. Yeah, and record every run. And still do B-roll, which is crazy to me.
Fucking video guys. Anyways, what we were talking about. I realized that drag racers are kind of assholes. If anybody's ever been in the drag racing scene.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're
would have never guessed.
Very secretive about their stuff.
I've been watching some drag racing live streams down in like Florida. It's just some dude doing like the same thing on a phone. And he's like down and like, right at the line, and you could just tell like all the entitledness of like these like guys that have been coming here since they were a kid, and they built this out of their fucking hillbilly shop, and they're all like, and you hear him on the thing, he's like, this guy's the man, like, should I go ask him some questions? And he's just sitting there, this obese thing, and it's like who thinks that you're the man? Who gave this guy the right? Like, the man of what? I have no idea who he is.
My man built the fastest engine that won't blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. Right. So I got out of shooting drag racing and I was like, I want to try out grip racing. Oh my god. Hope that
You have a
doesn't pick
kid?
up. Yeah.
When
Got
did you
people
have a kid?
crying.
A while ago. So anyways, I stopped shooting drag racing, went to shoot grip. I shot Michelin Challenge
Hmm.
and that did not go well. Uh,
Okay.
so then I went to Grid Life and I had a blast. And then mostly I love shooting drift. And I was like, I used to watch drift on G4 like way back in the day.
Yeah.
Is that getting picked up?
Just a little bit.
It's
Uh,
all right.
Shut up.
anyways,
That's amazing.
um, I
Dad's busy. Dad's drinking again.
no,
No.
it's Christmas Eve, so
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's almost bedtime. Santa Claus is coming.
yeah.
The
So
threats.
Nate, get ready, buddy. It gets worse.
Oh, I bet.
um, so yeah, so I ended up talking to Paco and Corey and Sam was there too, but he was working for RTR
Yep.
at the time from Maximum Driftcast, and they had a program at the time called like the Up and Coming Creator Program or something like that, where they would vouch for you. You would have to pay for your own way in, but
Mhm.
then when you got there, their payment would be that they would introduce you to drivers because they at the time they had the halftime show.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool. So I bugged the absolute shit out of Sam for at least a year. I even went to FD Atlanta as a spectator, and where there used to be a bunker seat that you could get, and I shot a bunch of stuff there. I sent all my stuff to Sam. I was like, yo, let me shoot for you guys. Let me shoot. Let me do this. And they're like, cool. Yeah, go ahead. So then COVID happened, unfortunately, and I went.
Damn. So
And
you didn't start shooting FD until COVID?
I shot my first FD Atlanta was 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started shooting for Max Drift in 2020. Went to, I think it was a double header in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. And I shot that. And then I think the next year I went to St. Louis shooting for Maximum Driftcast again. And I had talked to Crenshaw. I got a really cool shot of Vaughn. It's one of my favorite shots. I think it's pinned. Anyways, it was a shot of Vaughn where he's like three-wheeling at St. Louis, and I showed that to Crenshaw. And he's like, yeah, send that to my guy. We'll post that. And I was like, cool. And I got yelled at by AJ. I was all the way on the outside of the bank. And I get a message from Andy on Discord, hey, I need you to come to the media center. And I was like, okay. So and it was like 112 degrees or whatever, right? St. Louis. So I walked my ass all the way around down to the media center. I was like, what's up? And AJ is just fucking leaned into me like, oh, you're supposed to be shooting for Maximum Driftcast. How come fucking RTR has a picture that you have? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
oh, dude, because I was on an editorial pass, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, sorry. He's like, this is just street advertising for you. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to fuck up. Like, I'm still new to this.
Right.
And
Damn.
so I told Eggert about that because I was sort of shooting for Eggert too at the time. Because we have some drivers that had US Drift licenses in there.
Yeah.
And I told him, and he was like, fuck that guy. I was like, he's like, next time somebody yells at you, tell them I told you could post it or do whatever you want. And I was like, this was still when I was like first met Brian. And I was still like new, and I'm like, I mean, I don't want to do that. But
I kind of like the vibes here. I want to keep them.
Yeah, exactly. That's like my whole thing, right? Like the entire time, he's like, just tell him I can't. I told you you can do it. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
So I kind of transitioned because when COVID happened, the Maximum Driftcast halftime show stopped. So those guys, Corey started doing live streams. Sam went to shoot F1. Paco was focusing on 2F stuff. So they never came to the events. So I never got that exposure to like the grid like they were supposed to with this creator program. I still love those guys to death. I get it. They're doing their own things. They're growing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of shifted to, I had been shooting US Drift events. I kind of shifted to talk to Brian, and Brian's like, yeah, just shoot for US Drift from now on. So now I have hard card, cool, paid for.
Mm-hmm.
He helps me out with flights and hotels when he can. Usually, like I said, I just stay with Andy.
Yeah.
But that is kind of how I spread. So now, because US Drift hosts the drift part of Hyperfest, I got really in depth with Hyperfest. And with Drift Appalachia, obviously Brian's a big part of Drift Appalachia, so I did Drift Appalachia. And
Yep.
now with this whole magazine, like I tell Brian all the time, like I literally owe everything to that dude. And he's like, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, all right. He says worse things than that, but I'm pretty sure we can't say those on YouTube.
Right.
in his nice little soft-spoken voice that he has.
Oh yeah, dude. No, that man is not soft spoken. When you get him like a couple beers in.
Oh yeah, once you get him going, he's funny
Oh
as hell.
yeah,
That's what I mean though. Like he's still just got like the nice voice though. He's
Oh,
nice
yeah.
and calm all the time sounding, but he gets going. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's
Yeah.
like that's my story and kind of how like I don't know.
And you
I-
still you're still sticking around, so
dude, there's nothing I would do now that I've been in the scene and met the media people. Like I met Nate like 3 or 4 years ago,
probably
and we just I always thought you fucking hated me, but I'm a
Same.
yeah, I'm a military guy, right? So I fucking thrive off that shit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I want to make you fucking hate me more, and then like that's how like I find out if you're like one of my homies is if I can say shit back to you.
If
and
we
then you just give
scissor,
it back.
is that what we figure out? Yeah.
Oh yeah. If we scissor and insults at each other, yeah. So that's why I'm like, all right, I like this guy.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first time I met Nate too. It was at a Hyperfest event back in 2018, I think.
Something like that,
or
sure.
17.
It
or
all runs
whatever,
together, so
But I was there and I seen him and I mentioned something to him and he just looked miserable and angry. And I was like, all right. Saw him at like another event like that year. I forget where, but I saw him like again like after that. Same type of thing. But then he like made a joke at me and I was like, what the fuck?
Where'd that come from?
And it was like it was a good joke. I was like, damn, dude. I'm like, this guy's got some spice in him. I'm like, all right, maybe he's just like fucking. Maybe he needs a water. Like, so yeah.
I mean, just people just realize that's just me, and then they figure it out. You know, they're like,
Jeremy even thought the same thing. Like I
Yeah.
would ask Jeremy, I'm like, Jeremy, you meet Nate? I'm like, the guy with like the glasses. He's on a tripod. He's like, yeah. I'm like, is he nice to you? He's like, I'm like,
He's like, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. He's like, I can't really. Damn,
I saw this thing that I sent to Edgar the other day, where like me and my friends are so mean to each other so much that it's literally impossible for us to be nice to each other.
Yeah.
well, it's
like-
really you start asking questions like, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you just give me a
Yeah.
compliment? Like,
Yeah, that's what I know. Are you having a bad day? You were
Yeah,
nice to me. Yeah.
It's like, what happened here?
Yeah.
no, I mean that's just how I've always grown up with friends. Is like that's how you greet people by calling them names, and like
Yeah.
people get really offended over it. And it's a bummer, but like that's just how it is with me. Like
Dude,
Yeah,
if I walk
that
up to a friend or somebody that I consider a friend, I'm like, "What's up, pussy?" or "Fuck,
exactly.
what's up, fucker?" Like that's like, if I say, "Hey," then that means I don't like you. Right?
Yeah.
If I
Right.
don't insult you when I greet you, then I probably don't like you.
Or no,
Especially if I don't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, or know you. Like I'll
Yeah,
do that to some people I know. Some people don't like that. So like,
Mhm.
all right, I won't do that. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to insult you. But
What's up, pussies?
yeah, what's up,
Yeah.
pussies?
No, I don't know. Like I love giving shit and taking it. So it's like it's just one of those things where
Yeah,
I
Oh, dude, I
I
tell-
enjoy it, dude. And that's
I
why
tell-
that's why I
yeah.
love the media boxes, dude. The media boxes at FD are some of the greatest conversations I've ever had. Just
You could definitely read a book or judge a book by a cover there, though. You could tell who's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be a good person to hang out with.
oh yeah.
You know, it's like, all right,
Fortunately, at FD, most of the media people I would hang out with. There's very few.
Yeah.
I mean, there
There's
are some. And I'm
there's
not gonna
some
name
that
names.
I probably just wouldn't hang out with, but I don't like, it's nothing against. I just don't think I would be just crickets probably. I don't
Yeah,
even,
yeah. No, yeah, I get it.
It is
Just,
true though,
it's
because I feel like a lot of people are afraid to talk to me, and it's so silly because they're a lot like you. A lot of people are like that,
Yeah,
because they're like, "What's wrong with this guy?" Because if you don't talk to me, then I'm probably just not gonna. If I don't know you, I'm not gonna talk to you. Or like people know me just from like the channel or whatever. They're like, "Oh, that's that guy or whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just a normal person." Like,
yeah.
I
Well, I mean, that's all of us, right? We're just people.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But it was funny. Scott and I were really, because Scott's a Navy guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's former Navy,
Mm-hmm.
and he and I were ragging on each other hard. And we're U.S. drift buddies. We knew each other before FD.
Yeah.
We were ragging on each other hard, and Zach Jobson was like, "Bro, you guys have a very toxic relationship." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? We're best friends." And he's like, "What?"
That sounds like a
Like,
Zach question or a statement,
Yeah.
yeah,
dude.
boy, we're best friends. What do you mean?
That was another kid that thought I hated him, and then he like asked for advice and shit, and I actually helped him, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, damn, you're
All
actually
of
kind of
us,
cool."
yeah, yeah.
It was
They're all
funny.
afraid of you.
Yeah.
Malik asked, "Have you had any near-death experience shooting?"
What can I say legally? That's the question.
I know, like I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose insurance on some of these events that I've shot.
I right? Okay, well, as long as I'm not specific about what it was or where it was, you'd probably be okay. But there
Yeah,
was an event. Oh, this is probably my first or second year shooting, and like I knew how drift events work, and I knew what I was doing was probably not the smartest idea. So we're at an oval track, right? And um, there's like a really big corner. Like you probably are hitting 60 miles an hour, around the big 60, yeah, probably 60 around the big bend of the oval track. And so there's like there's an oval track, right? But then there's like an opening to let cars on. So I was at where they're letting the cars on, and I was kind of leaning around the wall with my like a little bit with my tripod leg, just to like make sure I could see as much as the corner coming at me as I could. And someone grabbed the wall and basically sucked the car in, and it went all the way around the wall, like right in front of me, and took the tripod leg out, and like broke the tripod. The camera fell on its face. It broke. Um, yeah, it was. I mean, I was fine because I wasn't in a dangerous. I wouldn't consider it a dangerous position because I was still behind the wall. It was just the tripod leg was out by like literally 6 inches. Because you weren't supposed to be hitting, you weren't supposed to be on the wall at that point. You were supposed to be getting
Right.
lower. So it's just because that's how it was. When you hit the wall, you end up following it. So
yeah,
that was pretty. It was scary at the time because obviously the car is going by me at like 40 miles an hour, like literally like 6 inches from
Falling
my
apart,
foot.
debris coming
Yeah,
off. Your
yeah,
camera's
and it,
now
it was a
flying.
nice car too,
Yeah.
man. Like it was kind of sad, and then my camera broke. It was just not a great day.
oh yeah,
But yeah, that was real sketchy. Um, Even though I think I would have been safe no matter what because I was behind the wall.
yeah.
It's just one of those things where it's like, I did used to do okay.
Oh, here we go.
I can't really say where this is from, but people are gonna know where it's from if they know me from a long time ago. So, I used to go on rollerblades, right? And there are now rules
Hey,
in
you know what the worst
FD.
part?
There are now
You know what the
rules
worst
in
part?
Drift Indy against it, because of me.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
Oh, is that you?
Yes, this is because of me. Because so I played hockey in high school and stuff, right? So I can skate, roller skate just fine or whatever.
Yeah.
So I would do that with the Ronin, and I loved it. I would have people do donuts around me and stuff in the middle of these events, and like I'd come out on rollerblades and like, dude, it was so much fun. But one of these events, uh, can I even say who it is? I probably can. I mean, people know about it. There's a video out there. But it was Dustin Miles. He had just won the event. and he was doing donuts, and I was gonna come out, and he was gonna do donuts around me. It was gonna be a lot of fun. But in this particular track, I hadn't gone to that part of the track yet. I'd rollerbladed pretty much everywhere else, but that part of the track, and I didn't know there was a storm drain
Oh
there.
no.
And I was going backwards. My foot caught so I was kind of going backwards as he was going around me, and my foot caught the storm drain. I fell on my butt, and Dustin had to correct to miss me basically when he was doing
Yeah.
his donuts around. I kind of kept filming as I was on the ground and whatnot, and kind of like played it off or whatever. But like Dustin was like, "Dude, that was really sketchy."
Yeah, it was almost fucking killing me.
But yeah, so now
Damn.
there are rules because I used to rollerblade in FD2 all the time, and my first couple of years there, and yeah, now there's rules. You can't do that there and in Drift Indy.
Damn.
Yeah,
I should probably make
So-
a rule. So
so-
I run the media at US Drift events, so I'm probably gonna make that rule too.
I mean,
No rollerblading.
I can't remember the last time I pulled the rollerblades out. It's probably been 2 or 3 years for filming purposes. I still go
Not
out and
the worst part about
play
rollerblades.
play hockey and whatnot, but like not for filming anymore.
Hey Herbie,
What?
you know what the worst part about rollerblading is?
What?
Telling
No
your parents
balls?
you're gay.
Oh. I thought you were gonna say no balls.
No.
Nice.
Got him.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
All right. So, how long have
I've
we been
never had
talking?
a near-death experience.
I got hit by
hard-
part of an alternator at Road Atlanta, and then there's been some. I won't say what event. It was Grid Life South. Got hit by part of an alternator after a crash.
yeah, but like,
Yeah, but that's
were
just
you in like a bad
thing.
spot? Like, where you're
I
supposed to?
was. Well, I was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It
Doing
just
your job.
it was kind of a bad crash, you know.
Yeah,
I
just
kinda
kind of like a
pulled my
freak
leg
accident.
up. Yeah, well, I pulled my leg up because I saw it coming, and it hit like, you know, like so it's you have when you're coming down, you have the pavement and then the grass, right? Well, I guess it hit a clump of dirt that was on the grass, and then just tumbled, and then hit me in the shin. I was like,
Wow.
oh
Wow.
As soon as I pulled my leg up, it hit me right in the shin.
Damn.
Wasn't bad. It definitely hurt. But most of my other like near death experiences were just like at grassroots events where people straighten when they shouldn't, and then kind of like slid into Jersey barriers. But
Yeah,
I try to
Yeah.
keep myself out of like hazard. I'm really safe when it's on the track. Most of us are, right? We're professionals, so
Yeah.
Yeah. And
You
I
know,
come, like coming from E-Town, I think that I would debate that they're probably the most safest for media out of any track in the United States.
yeah.
Like for grassroots purposes, I think that
Yeah, you guys were pretty strict there.
it is
Yeah.
so strict, even on a club loose day. It's like holy shit. That's why like you always see like the same shots from like all these different people because like then
Yeah.
it becomes like who could be the most artistic with what we got.
Yep.
And I mean from the first day that I was there to now they've opened up a lot of other places. But like I think we all saw that video of that one media person getting fucking absolutely mollywopped on the entry that black car. I forget what it was.
Bro,
but,
we
like,
had a fucking huge debate about that in that drift group chat about if it was the photographer's fault, if it was the event organizer's fault, whatever. And I was like, it's kind of everybody's, right? Like,
Yeah.
they should have had a media meeting. If they did, they should have told that guy he needed to be behind something. If they told him to be behind something, they should have yanked him off the track as soon as he stepped out.
Yep.
You know, there was so much there's so many steps that could have prevented that from happening.
And he
That-
should have had a brain.
Yeah, like
Like
never turn your back on a car. Fucking stay behind something. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like right, cars can go like Nate's thing. You know, the guy wasn't supposed to be there, but cars
Yeah.
can break. Stuff can happen, especially at grassroots events, right?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
I will be more dangerous when like rapper Dan's coming by or like the 945 garage car with Danny's coming by, right? Because
Yeah.
I know they're probably going to be okay. Something with the car has to break for them to be offline.
Mhm.
If there's somebody coming up that I either know is not the best driver or I don't know them at all, I'm behind a barrier watching the car the entire time.
Yep.
Yeah, and no, and like I've had opportunities where like we've done some pretty sketchy stuff, but it's been like in a controlled setting. Like you're doing a shoot basically, and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a sketchy place to be, but like you're filming
Yeah.
one car.
It's a private time. Yeah. Not
Yeah,
a
like
hot
you're doing
track
this for
all
a
the
video
time.
shoot. Like you know he knows where you are. You know, like
Yeah.
Right.
so it's like
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like
that's
I
completely
can't.
different than
Well,
like
and
That's
that's the
why I
thing
can't
too, right? When
say
you're doing shoots, typically you talk like, "Hey, the media guy is going to be right here. If something is wrong with the car, you need to bail this way.
Yep.
Like whatever you can do, get the car to go this way,
mm-hmm.
right? Because in the car is probably the safest place to be in a lot of these places because you got
Correct.
cages, you got
Yeah,
safety gear. Anything outside the car is the dangerous part. So just get the car away from the people, and then we're fine. You know, we could rebuild the car. You can't necessarily rebuild a person.
Right.
We're getting pretty good at it. It's, you know, a big movement around.
But yeah, so like I don't know, it's just one of those things where you see that with organizations too, like how strict they are or like how organized it is for like like okay, so you actually have like places for people to shoot, you have rules like actually it's a really good indicator on an event organization actually.
It really is. So like for US Drift, right? We have our summer events at Richmond Raceway. And we have it's where the old Spirit Track used to be. Joe Scully's no longer part of that, thank God. But anyways, it's kind of similar, kind of a similar layout there, right? And you know we have our rules, and I usually give people one chance because I'll let anybody come shoot our events, right? I will never be the person that holds somebody back from their dream of being a motorsports photographer. If you want to come out and shoot, I'll let you shoot. You're going to follow our rules though, and I give you one shot. If you break the rules once, I'll tell you this is why. You know, you got to be safe. If you break it twice, you're out. Clean Culture came in behind our backs and worked with the track to have an event there. We ended up actually making pretty good money off them because we rented them all the barriers. But they had people like sitting on the barrier with their legs out right where an outside zone was, and we're just like, brother, like
it's hard to, dude. That happened to me at one of the events at the Gambler Track. That I think it might have been the first LZ day or the second LZ day or whatever. And last minute, I got offered to just like run the media meeting and everything in the morning and just like keep it squared away.
Yeah.
It's like the emails went out to the people, whatever. Didn't know that Clean Culture like had their own media list or whatever. Like they had their own like guy rules, whatever, apparently. And so none of those kids attended my media meeting. And the first you know, earlier on in the day, like they're not really there because the car show is not bumping yet. And like the first one rolls in, I see a kid on the track with shorts on. I was like, nah.
No.
And
Dude,
then
people don't get that. Like
no, and then I saw another one though, and I was like, bro, what is happening? I'm like, I didn't even see you this morning. So then like I go to tell another one, and then like all of a sudden it's just like a flock of these kids. And I was like,
oh no,
I'm toast. I'm toast.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't now. I'm like, what am I gonna do?
That's when you need an Andy Luck on your side. Like I don't know any of those dudes, and he'll go over there and fuck him up.
That's
Yeah.
like I would end up being like shot or something if I tried to like in New Jersey kick out Clean Culture kids. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Malik. Thanks. So that's not all me. That's all Jack blames. Honestly, I edit like some of those things, like every once in a blue moon. But yeah,
that's Goomba Kids.
The Greasy Goomba Kids. That's it's my buddy's like little car culture company that they got going on. Just vlogs, Instagram. They got clothes.
Yeah, Herbie's made it big time.
Yeah. He says the Greasy Goomba.
Yeah. GGK, baby.
I gotta set that on my check this out later thing.
Damn, I can't believe you haven't seen me repost them at all.
Dude, I'm barely on Instagram.
James is a big fan of his blues, and then he's like, dude, your shit's always like orange and green. I'm like, yeah, well, maybe I'm happier. No.
If you got a client that's worried about your color corrections, that's a good client to have, honestly. At least that means they're serious.
Yep, no, that's true. Yeah, when I do my content, it's as Rec 709 as I can get.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So then, honestly, like when I used to use your stuff that you would give Matt, I
Mhm.
would still be able to like. I didn't know as much when I was doing it this way, but like I was still putting my own little twist on it. And then
Mhm.
like, if I was to go back and do that now, already convert a Rec 709, I know a couple more things now, so the color probably wouldn't look as poop. But
Yeah.
you know, we're learnings.
So you guys shoot S-Log 3, I'm guessing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've been shooting log for probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started when I bought my camera. That was the first video. I don't look
But
much
it took
stuff
me
up.
years to get to a coloring that I liked, though. That was the problem. It
Yeah,
is such a challenge. Like, so for people that don't know, log is basically a picture profile, or like you shoot in this
bless you.
picture, and everything is
Thanks.
brown. Basically, everything is very monotone,
Turkey.
basically. And so basically, you have to put a LUT on it to make it look normal again.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you can really mess things up. Like, it can be really hard to bring back. So
Well, that's
um,
like, so for the photographer, like still photographers, shooting log is like shooting in RAW, right?
but
So
But
but
even
you get a
even in
lot more
raw though, you still
information.
have the color though for the most part.
It depends on what RAW like
Okay.
format you do, yeah. But a lot of times, like ideally you want it to be as flat as possible because that
Yeah.
means you have, like, just like in video, that means you have
Mhm.
the most data,
Mhm.
right?
I've
But
I've accidentally I've taken a couple pictures while in S-Log before and then edited them, and I was like, yo, this is actually really sick. Like this is kind of like this is like fun to do. Like I don't
yeah,
like it's not converted. It's just I don't know how to convert a photo that was
Right.
shot in S-Log to
yeah,
fucking like what even is that?
that's awesome.
Well, Lightroom
Like
has
when
a
I
lot
did
of
it, I
the
was like, what
presets or
the?
whatever, so that's like that
I'll
helps.
tell you, I
So
have never used one.
Wait,
I
All right, let me
forget
tell you
about
something right
that
now.
shit.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna do. I don't know how loud this is, but if you're a photographer and you're using presets, stop.
Nate
I
uses
no,
fucking
no. What I
I
use now,
hate
I use the
presets
AI
so much.
generated LUTs that they come with or that you can get now.
Yeah. That's different though.
Okay, so
I can't
yeah.
tell you how much so many people have told me, like, oh, I bought these presets from such and such photographer on YouTube. I'm like, you can literally make those. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
if you like that, just learn your stuff, learn your
yeah.
camera, learn your
Mhm.
editing software, and
I always
then
tell
it's
people
It's
just
just
like if you
yours.
they're like, how do you know what to do to something? I'm like, do you see the bar? I'm like wiggling it
Yeah,
all over
just
the place.
go
I'm like,
go back and forth.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
just
all right, that's fine.
contrast
find it.
100,
Yeah, yeah,
contrast negative
yeah,
100.
yeah.
Okay,
It's
let's.
like,
Clarity,
yeah,
dehaze,
yeah.
contrast. All right,
No,
it's
it's like I
good.
just start wiggling everything and seeing what I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna do that, and then if I do this first, then I do that. It's like then it's the way in like the order if you do things, and then like masking and like there's like even on video shit, it's like it's hard for me to even learn some of those things because like on a harder like an older PC or something, like dude, now it's like by the time that's something like I want to learn or like render something, it's like I'm right on my phone because it's fucking taking a minute and a half to think about one thing. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit there, and then like the playback is just choppy, and it's like, damn, bro,
Yeah.
Damn,
So
sick.
Malik says you can shoot. He shoots all his photos in RAW on his iPhone,
Yeah, I
and
do
then
too.
I shoot all my photos in RAW.
I didn't know you could do that. Maybe I
You
should.
Yeah,
need a
bro. And
you need
then
a new phone.
I do have
or
a. I do have a crappy phone that I use daily, but like the Lightstream phone is nice.
yeah, that
Is it? I don't know
I think
about
that has raw
that.
photos.
Okay.
And then mine has the Apple log actually too. But
Oh
and
really?
then if you plug an external hard drive into the phone, then you can record straight to the external.
Yeah,
What?
Because 500
dude.
like when I just got my phone with nothing on it, 512 or whatever gigabytes, I only had 45 minutes of log footage time.
Wow.
because it's ProRes log, yeah. And it's
Wow.
like, holy fuck. And I started to like convert, like try to figure out how to convert it, like which like would it be like closer to Canon or like an
Yeah.
RE, like just trying to figure it out. And then
Yeah.
once I started getting it, and then like I saw that Blackmagic has an iPhone app, I was like, bro, this thing is so powerful. It is
Really?
fucking.
Speaking of,
I don't
you know
use it
what
that much
pisses me
because
off?
it cranks foot or space. But sorry, continue, Chuck.
You know what pisses me off? Because I do not shoot video, and when I do, I'm just shooting an MP4, right? Whatever
Your
MOV,
standard format
Yeah,
colors and
yeah.
right,
stuff. Yeah.
Rec 709, just chilling.
right. But I edit a lot for Hyperfest, which is all S-Lug stuff, or Red stuff, or Black Magic stuff. Tell me why I need three separate programs to edit Black Magic, to edit Red. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Just use
It's
DaVinci, dog.
well,
No, no.
no. Like
Yeah.
it's dumb. I agree. I'm with Chuck on this one. I hate red footage. I hate having to use red footage because you have to buy a special plugin to use it on Final Cut. It's dumb. Just let me everyone go use Sony, and then we can just all use normal
Life would be
files.
so much easier if everybody just shot an S-Lug, honestly. Like, from what I've, like, for editing wise, because I had to actually build a whole new computer because these fucking clowns on the Black Magic and Red cameras are shooting in 8K. My
Yeah.
computer editing 8K or just like scrubbing through the footage was miserable. So I was like, this computer
You
sucks.
gotta learn about your proxies and stuff.
Yep.
Bro, I don't
Yeah,
know
dude.
shit about video. So
That's
I'm
what
like,
I have to do with my poor 1080 Ti here. Like I was just sitting in bed
oh
before,
man,
and
1080.
yeah, and I was just like it wasn't even doing anything. I had nothing open. It's just chilling on the desktop, and I was just sitting there, and I could just hear like all the hard drives just making noise and just like chunking. And I'm like,
They're all like,
I'm like, dude, it's been I built this thing 2018 or like early 19.
damn,
So,
bro.
and it has been the same exact everything. No new thermal paste. The CPU is
Oh,
probably
brother.
just
Yeah. You probably need
cooked.
some new thermal paste in
At
that.
least that.
Yeah,
Like at least
the very least.
that.
Do
That's what I
your
mean.
maintenance. Do your
Like,
maintenance.
I've only like cleaned it out one time, and there was like, we had two dogs, and in the GPU that fucking it was just like the hair was so in there that it was fried in the GPU fans, so it like came out like chips. I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, dude. No, so like I'm lazy. So I have my old build down here as like a server
Yeah.
next to my NAS, and then yeah, the only part that I sacrificed for my last build was the graphics card because graphics cards are just so fucking expensive. But I have a 3070 Ti, so it's like not bad.
That's what you have now.
Yeah. And then I have a 970.
Got
so-
Nate with the big boy.
Yeah.
What you got? You got 3090?
40. Was it the 4080?
4090.
4090?
4090?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
You close this camera. Yeah,
Dude,
Wild,
and
dude.
so I bought
'Cause-
this like super nice camera that Herbie helped me find, or not camera, computer that Herbie helped me find, and it's is way cheaper than my MacBook that I use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like,
Because he had, like,
MacBooks are a convenience price, right? If you
Dude.
just want fucking like it to work.
I
buy a
screwed
MacBook.
myself using Final Cut, even though Final Cut is an amazing software program to use. But like,
Yeah.
man, the fact that I have to use Apple products to like edit anything, I kind of put myself in a pickle of paying
That's why
lots of money.
So back in the day, I used to acquire Premiere Pro,
Yeah.
and I pay for it now. But yeah, I learned on that because that was like kind of the generic.
Mhm.
Like I know everybody does like
Everyone
DaVinci 'cause
everyone
it's-
uses it, so it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This is before I was like really into video editing. My dad for some reason had Final Cut Pro 7, like the CDs that you have to download stuff,
Yeah.
and whatnot. And he had that, and I was like, oh, well, I'm gonna try it out, because he on his computer at the time. So that's kind of where I started learning a real editing software. Plus, I always had like my laptop was like a Mac, whatever, when I was in college or whatever. So, like, it has iMovie on it, so it's like your basic basics, you
Like
know.
Windows Movie Maker or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell
So
yeah.
like, so it actually is pretty similar formatting and everything. So, at least the new Final Cut is. But yeah, so that's kind of my first. That's why I stuck with Final Cut, and then you start getting plugins and all these add-ons, and then eventually you're in multiple thousands of dollars in just plugins and add stuff with the editing software. Like, so if I were to move to Adobe or DaVinci, I lose thousands of dollars in stuff. So it's like
Yeah.
it's so
At this
hard to like
point, yeah.
yeah.
You
But
definitely
every time I
created
need
it.
a new laptop, it's $5,000.
That's
Yeah.
fucking
Which
crazy.
the previous gen MacBooks were trash, and it only lasted me 2.5 years.
Really?
Yeah, I burned through it, and it was before the one. It's the generation before the M1 Mac chip or whatever, the M1
Yeah.
chips. The heating or the cooling system on it was garbage. Like it was worse than the previous gen. Like I had my previous gen MacBook, I think probably 4 years before that one was like really running like shit. Yeah, this one was like 2 years and it was done. So this one that I have now has a new M1 Mac chip in it. Cooling, it's never hot, which is amazing. It's like the fans on this thing are bananas. It reminds me of Herbie's computer, honestly. Um, but
Well,
It's like a rocket ship.
my
yeah,
laptop, fucking dude, that thing is so loud.
but
Oh
like
yeah, dude.
yeah, so this one I had 2 years. It's running pretty good. So I'm gonna run it another year and see how hopefully it goes. And the thing is every year I get higher and higher quality. Although I used to shoot, I had an Sony FS5 and I was shooting straight raw like 4K, 2K. Gosh, what is that format even called? It's just straight raw. Cause I shoot like it's an MLV file right now, but like
Yeah.
it was like I was shooting terabytes every event of footage, like a terabyte plus.
Yeah.
Now I'm at like 200-300 gigs an event, so it's like way less now. But like
Yeah.
that stuff ate my computer up, and
Dude,
now
I had a 2017 MacBook Pro until last year. I bought this Acer piece of junk.
but
My
like
condolences.
But
that's
this
the
thing,
thing. But
this
that's the
thing
thing.
is so sick. Like, it's like on par with the MacBook Pro. Obviously, it's newer,
Yeah,
but
Does it got a standalone GPU in it?
it does. It's got a 4070.
nice.
Damn.
Yeah, cause
And
like
it doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck. It is loud though. If I turn it on to like edit,
You-
the
Well, I guess you could do photos without it being plugged in.
yeah, no, photos is it's super chill. But if I
But
do
if
video, it's like
do you have to plug it in
screaming.
to get more
Yeah.
like its full power?
It has full power until it hits about 25% battery life. Um, but I always have it plugged in, so like it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
It's
True.
just a mobile computer.
yeah,
But I mean, if you ever walk into like, if you guys ever go into like Larry's like editing booth, you walk in there and it sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
'cause
all
they have,
MSIs.
yeah, they have 4 MSIs in there going, and it's just like the whole
Yeah.
fucking time. I'm like, well, it's so loud in here. I gotta have
That's
hearing
what
protection.
mine is the generation right before Tyler's.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, literally, like they came out with his like 2 months later. I was like, damn, it's like a little bit slimmer, it's a little sleeker, and he seems to like his. I don't know.
I
You guys
mean, if
paying?
somebody
Malik
gave
literally
me,
just asked about it too.
Yeah,
yeah, I've never tried MSI stuff.
Yeah, neither
I
have I.
like
I
them.
so I'm like a hardware guy. Um, I watch a lot of like tech YouTube channels just because like I build my own computers. I like that's
Yeah.
why I don't have a lot of Apple products, right? Because I like fucking with stuff. You
Right.
can't really do that with Apple products.
No.
They're great. They're great hardware, but you can't
Yeah.
really fuck with them.
Mhm.
MSI, not a super huge fan of MSI stuff, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like Larry has a contract with them, so obviously they're good. They're good. There's better out there.
That's what That's what my graphics card is.
Yeah, there are better out there. EVGA graphics cards are hands down the best right now. I used to be a huge Intel fanboy until the newest generation came out. My
Of
last
what?
four of CPUs. My last four computer builds were Intel CPUs.
And you
This one
switched to
has
AMD.
this one has an AMD. Yep.
Damn, what the hell is wrong with you?
Dude, have you seen the 13 the newest generation Intel? They're like burning themselves up.
The 14
The
nines.
14. Oh, the 13 is doing it too. It's the same architecture.
Yeah, but they fixed it.
They fixed it. It's still not great.
Yeah, but they're good though. I would still buy Intel.
Oh, you're a fanboy. I was a
Dude,
huge.
it's
I-
just better for everything.
It's
For
not,
like
though.
editing
It's
like
not though. It's not.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to get in an argument about it. I've never been a fanboy about any product. Like I shoot Canon cameras only because I've always shot Canon cameras. But if
Yeah.
somebody said, "Hey, I'll give you $20,000 worth of Nikon equipment," cool. I'll shoot with Nikon. I don't care. If somebody gave me an FX3, said, "Hey, I need you to shoot this event with this," I don't care.
Oh yeah, for that type of stuff I really don't care. I just really see like for that's like the only thing I'm like dead set on. I don't
The
know why.
Intel.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to be too. I used to be like,
I don't see the problem with the AMD, but I think if someone gave me the choice between the two, I'd still take the Intel.
I used to be the same way, but
And I don't know shit about any of this stuff.
hell yeah! All right. Yeah, I see. Nate's just sitting back there with his fucking iMac Pro. He's like,
and his 4090.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's 4090.
I'm just here to spend money, I guess.
Yeah,
No.
he sent me a link
As
the
long as
one
you-
day with like a coupon to some site with like sick pre-builds, and like they were pretty fucking cool looking.
But they're expensive.
They were mad expensive.
I was like, bro, this is kind of like what Apple prices are. Is this how it usually is?
Yeah, he's like, I got like 15% off. I'm like, that's not gonna take too much of a dent off of this one, unfortunately. But like,
I love the sales. They're like, this is $700 off. I'm like, yeah, but it's still $10,000.
yeah. So I went on the Newegg, and right away I like looked up something with like the same but or better specs, and found a 4090 build, and that was quite the deal.
Yeah, I mean it was $3,000, I think, like 2,900.
Yeah, it was like
That's not bad.
$28.99. Like you buy the GPU alone right now. I was just looking at the prices the other day. It's like
Yeah, it's like $2,000.
it's
Yeah.
literally
Minimum.
they've gone up even more. It's like $2,200 now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's fucking
Yeah,
insane.
And it
Dude,
like obviously it's the whole
GPUs.
computer too, so it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fans and everything
with
else.
with the 14.9 in it, like it's got the newest processor. It's got good RAM. Yeah, that's a unit of a computer right there.
Yeah, and I use it a lot. I use it for recording. I've been doing some live streaming and stuff with it, on the game and doing some gaming stuff. So like, it's done really well. And like, so obviously, gaming. I mean, we're jumping
I'm a
all
huge
over the
gamer,
place today.
so, like-
but like, I love gaming. But I've been a console guy my whole life until when did I get this PC? Like
4 months ago, maybe.
yeah, 4 months ago. Until 4 months ago, and like, I'll be honest, I knew console was like way bad. Like it's just nothing compared to PC.
It's convenient. It's convenient.
It's
That's all.
convenient.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
You could
that's
just
what all my
sit
friends
back,
were on.
chill.
That's where all my friends were on.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
as soon as I like plug, so I love playing a game called Ark, and I was having so many issues on
I'm sorry.
console with it, and but then I put it on the PC, and it's like a night and day difference in quality.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's incredible, and I'll even compare some of the old games that I've played, and it's just like it's not even close.
Dude, I'll never go back. Like, yeah, okay, consoles are like affordable. They're easy. You just you hook them up to a TV that they're gonna go. I'm not a person that's like that. I want I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now.
Dude,
at
I played
60
that on
frames
the
per second.
PC too, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I missed out playing this.
Yeah, I'm playing at 60 frames per second with ray tracing on, and I'm still not impressed. Like, it's like because I have to put on like ray tracing low. I'm like, damn, I need a 4090 to enjoy this game.
Yeah.
It's a great game and it looks phenomenal the way it is, but
now
like,
you know that there's more out there. That's the problem. That's
Yeah.
how that's what when I bought this, it was the top of the line. Like
Yeah.
a 1080 Ti with 32 gigs of RAM. I was like, tough. Like it's cool.
yeah.
And now it's like it still has 12 gigabytes of VRAM or 11. Sorry.
That's still a lot, actually. Like,
Yeah, it's like 11 point
wow.
something because like I think the 4060 Ti I think is only 8.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm like, bro, like
I think
people
the
are out.
4070 is the only one that comes up with more than 10, and then like what is yours? The 4090 has like 16 or something stupid. I
I
don't
think
remember.
24.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's. I was like, oh my god,
So
if I had
stupid.
that would be double how fast I could be.
But I literally built my PC for $2,000
Yeah,
minus the GPU, right? Because I just used it from the last one. So
yeah,
like, I would double the price of my PC if I bought a 4090.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's
That's like
crazy.
when I built mine. All said and done, it was just under $4,000 buying all the pieces. I was like, oh
Jeez.
my god.
Yeah,
Wow. I mean, it is interesting though because way the market is, it's like it's almost dumb to not buy something that's built now.
Like
yeah.
sometimes you could save maybe like I told you like $5-6, but overall it's like I'd rather just have something sent to my house that's already pre-built. Like I do like the fun of building something like that. Like I enjoyed building this, but
And you can
like
always modify it when you get
yeah,
it, too.
That's
I
the
would be the
best part about PCs, right? Though, like
yeah,
you can build what you can afford, and then like, oh, I can upgrade this later once I save up
yeah,
for it or I get more
Mhm.
money or whatever. Like, yeah.
literally, yeah. Damn,
Yeah.
I
definitely
see
needed
you're
one.
running a Pixel. Larry also uses one too. I'm assuming you have more control on the camera or something. So, Pixel runs back. Malik asked this question in the chat.
Yep.
Um, Pixel runs back. So I've been following Larry since he was on Galaxy, right? He was doing his whole uh only posting Instagram photos that were taken from his phone until he had
Yeah.
100,000 followers. So I was like, cool, that makes sense. I'm a big proponent of cell phone photos because like the best camera that you have is the one that you have on you, right? Everybody's
Mhm.
got their phone on them all the time. Pixels, I think starting in the Pixel 4 had like the best sensor and camera on it. So that's what I started. Now they're iPhone Pixels kind of the same. Like I don't really care. I just
Dude, the
Pixels are
zoom on those things though is insane.
yeah. There's
Like
Pixels are
some,
cheaper, like essentially, right?
yeah.
So
I just
I
get bothered by the fake bokeh on the portrait mode stuff.
Oh, I don't ever use portrait mode.
It
Ever.
bothers
yeah,
me when because I can see it immediately when someone
I
does it, and I'm like,
I can't. I
ugh.
used to, but then I was like, wait, I hate this. I'm like, it's ruining the quality of my photo.
okay. I need to make a correction because
Okay.
Edgar just texted me.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't just Edgar that purchased Rect. It was both of them. It's owned by the Drift Group. So
Oh, it was both him and
him and Edgar.
Edgar. Okay,
So
gotcha.
Edgar Sarmiento from Drift
Yep.
Indie, who is a huge idiot. I hate him. I could beat him up in one punch. He and because now that I know he's watching it, he and Brian both purchased it under the Drift Group.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we need to get back on Direct for a second.
Okay.
We are waiting. We have a bunch of articles. I have a bunch of articles that I've written up. Edgar doesn't know this, so he's finding this out just now. For when the website goes live, we're going to hit the ground running. So we'll make social media posts
Yep.
as soon as they can get backed up by the website with articles and stuff like that. Yeah,
Is there ways
just
that
getting
people can support you, or what's the best way for people to support Rec Magazine right now, or in the future?
So in the future, I will have. So I'm in charge. I'm like the senior editor.
Mm-hmm.
Is what my content will my title will be. If people want to submit stuff to Rect, we'll have a Facebook group that I can invite people to. They can submit stuff through there. We're going to give full credit to anybody that submits photos, submits any kind of content. In our first year, anybody who supports us that knows they're not going to get paid, we will have a nice little special place in our heart for them in the second year. Maybe some money. Oh man, this fucking my nose is stopping up. But yeah, so that's the thing. Like, just follow the website. Will be recmagazine.com. The Insta is recmag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
but
we got a
like
lot
as
going
far
on.
as like customers and stuff, or like people that like want like like obviously you'll have a magazine eventually, but is there a way for people to buy merch? Is there a way? Are you gonna have that stuff in the future? Or like what like is there a way like a regular person can support you guys? Or what is there any
you're talking
plan?
about like Yeah,
Like
financially. So
like
that's
subscriptions or like what's kind of the plan there, you think?
so we haven't really gotten that far right now. And what
Yep.
we're trying to do is get major partner labels like hooked up, right?
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
We
So like if you
haven't
got a company that you want to work with Wrecked On, that makes a little
right.
bit more sense.
That's
Okay.
really like if people want to advertise in the magazine or on our socials,
Mm-hmm.
we have a actual like um, price chart for things that they can do like per
Yep.
year. If you want in the magazine and the digital side, if you want like a 2-page spread, or
Gotcha.
if you want a social media post
Yep.
or like a whole video, like this video is brought to you by whatever.
Yep.
We have that. Uh, I do want merch. I'm like a huge proponent, but we haven't really got that far. We're still building this
Obviously, yeah.
thing from scratch, right? So we have the stuff that we used that former Rect has, but we're building everything that we're doing from scratch. So websites,
Okay.
social media is also obviously it's just like sticking around, right? We're using
Yeah.
the same accounts. Um,
Yeah.
but everything on like the operations side, we're building from scratch because we want it to match what we have set up for Drift Appalachia and US Drift and Drift Indy. So
Gotcha.
it's a
It's
lot
cool
of
the
stuff
social
going on.
media never got
Yeah.
deleted.
Do you want to
I
kind of go
know.
into like kind of like what just a little bit behind the scenes of like what you guys do to make Drift Appalachia a thing? Because it's a
That's
very interesting, very different event compared to most, I would say.
yeah. So Drift Appalachia, I'd say if you want to talk to somebody about that, is talk to Edgar or Eggert. Have them one of them, preferably Eggert, because he talks really fast and he gets nervous. I'd love to see Edgar. I'd love to see Edgar on here, but he won't do it. I
Oh yeah.
guarantee you he won't. Yeah. No, I am like fortunate to be a part of that. I just show up and shoot. Like that's all I do. I don't do anything in the operations side. I don't even get to shoot video usually. I just shoot photos.
Right.
You do some
So
video once in a blue moon, though.
I
You
have
dabble.
I have. Oh, I do like some video, right? I want to transition to doing some of that, like
Yeah.
primarily, because right now it's a necessity, right? We talked about it earlier. Like reels are like huge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For Drift Appalachia, I am primarily just a photo guy.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. And obviously you guys have some cool like same areas looks like for next year, but should be
no
no.
different, the same areas, different roads. I think the only one I don't know what I can talk about. We're going back
Yeah.
to one road that everybody loves. I know
Cool.
that much. But there
Awesome.
will be 4 rounds. It is going to be application only.
Mm-hmm.
Media people, please stop messaging the account.
Yeah.
I'll be nice, but some
Yeah.
of you guys are not. This guy, I want to say this because I know Edgar's watching. This guy messaged us saying, "Hey, I'm a media outlet. I want to shoot." And then we looked at his account. He's got like 56 followers. And I'm like, bro, I
Nice.
could get 56 followers in a day
Right.
That's
That's
wild.
about
with
it.
a brand new account. Sorry. So
Yeah. No, yeah, you have to be I mean, for just so people understand, like you have to be ultra picky about what goes on at those events because there's just so much more at stake. It's
yeah, it's
so
not
much.
just like what your outlet is. It's like,
Yeah.
are you an experienced shooter? Oh, here we go. Here's Edgar.
Edgar's like,
Um,
"Eh, I'll get on
yeah,
there.
I
Okay."
gotta say some shit. He's probably been drinking because it's Christmas Eve.
Yeah, right.
Acting like I'm scared of nerds. You are scared of nerds. I'll beat you up. He knows it. But yeah, like even just like on the media side, like there's some guardrails, right? But a
Mhm.
lot of this stuff, it's just the side of a road.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
can't have like Joe Schmo who thinks, "Oh, I'm gonna get the fucking shot," and he's like
Mhm.
standing in the middle of the road, and then a car goes off because like these aren't simple roads. They're hard tracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Fast,
that's
hard.
why we are very picky about who drives them. Because this ain't your local like circle track. This is a road, and some of these tracks or roads we've been going like 60, 70 miles down our drift. Like
Yeah.
it's not
It's
easy.
real sketchy. Even if you're on the inside of a corner, a lot of the drivers are taking the inside line on corners, so you better watch your ankles, you know?
Yeah,
It's like you really have to be smart.
yeah,
Because especially when people are coming up and down the hills in these lines, they're watching the car ahead of them. They're not watching
Yeah,
you.
they're not watching the side of the road.
No,
absolutely
they're
not.
just trying to make sure they stay on the road in
Yeah.
front of them. So it's like it's a very surreal event that I went to, but like it's also a very serious endeavor. If I can talk.
Endeavor. Yeah.
Yep. And like you don't want it to get ruined. And it's such a cool, unique opportunity, but it also is a very high end, very professional event. Just like FD, not everyone gets to go shoot FD, you know? It's like, even though I do feel like they let a lot of people in now. But
Speaking of, we'll do our any luck thing later.
yeah, we will. But in terms of like, as this is as a it's a very exclusive event, and it's like that because it's a reason. It's because it's literally a photo shoot event. Like it's not a spectator event at all. Like it's
Well, we have had spectators, and we do.
Right.
It depends on the road, right? Because, like I said, a lot of these places there's not any protection, like guardrails. So, for insurance purposes, right? And I know everybody's seen these other toge events that happen, and they're slow.
I'm not talking about those.
I know. I know. But they're slow. They're like, well, you could be a spectator here. Well, that's cool because they're going 20 miles an hour on a driveway. Like,
Yeah.
this is legitimately drivers are drifting 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. Where the fuck are we going to put spectators?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. They open and close the road.
yeah, it is
Yeah.
a legitimate road that's closed down by the city. Like, it's a road. You could drive it. I'm not gonna say you could drift it because you'd be stupid. The whole like allure to what we do is we shut the road down for Drift Appalachia, right? We shut the road down. We
Yeah.
have local fire departments, tow trucks, emergency services, right? If somebody goes off, there's a ambulance there and a fire truck and a tow truck instantly, right? So
Mhm.
like, if you do some of these other places, like, or if you do it on your own, God forbid, and you go off,
Yeah.
nobody's gonna be around it now. You're
No.
fucked.
Mhm.
So
No, it's true. And I mean, even with that, there are crashes. Like, and they're
Oh,
not
yeah.
and they're not good. Like
they're not good.
they are not your light tap into a wall and make out okay kind of thing. It's like you mess stuff up
Yeah.
Yeah.
every time.
And that's that's the risk about it. Like,
Mhm.
you have to go into it knowing this is a fucking toge. It is, and so for the last one that we went to in Kentucky, people are like, well, they weren't drifting every corner. I'm like, well, if you realize like it's a real toge, you drift the corners that you think you can drift, and you drive the ones that you don't. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like your
You're not
local.
people aren't trying to be heroes. You know,
Yeah,
this is
you're
not
not
the
trying
event
to
to be a
link the
hero.
course. No, absolutely not. You're not linking the course. It's not a circle track. It is a
Mm.
road. You
Mhm.
drift the ones that you can. You have fun. You drive the others.
Yep.
That's it. If you're going there for clout, you're doing it for the wrong reason. You're going there for you to have fun. And there's some drivers who are very experienced and very big in the scene that, the last event that we did, that was the hardest track or the hardest road that I think we've driven. And some of the drivers are like, nope, I'm good. I don't want to. I'm like, it's sketchy. I'm scared. And I'm not gonna say the drivers, but like, yeah, like that's the difference, right? Some drivers would be like, oh, I'll do it. And then others are like smart enough to know like this is beyond me.
Yeah.
So
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
It's cool though, but like like I said, there's a reason that you guys do what you do, and it's just I always have to try and butt in where I can to say like defend you guys some of the time because you guys are so exclusive, and I'm like, well, there's a big reason for that.
oh, fuck them. And we're not
and-
exclusive. We're just very like Edgar said in the chat. If you want to drive, hit Derek King up or Ben Portiara and say, hey, like,
Yeah.
we need you to come at us with some kind of content that shows that you're good in tandem. Don't just show us some cool line that you did solo. Like, when we send cars at Appalachia, we're sending 10, 15, 20 cars at a time. I need to know that you can drive tandem smoothly, make it down the road safe, so you're not going off and crashing everybody behind you. You know,
Mhm.
so I need to see cool tandem videos, not just some fucking parking lot videos. We don't
Right.
care about that. We want to see you doing cool shit. We want to know that you're a cool person to hang out with. If you're some fucking dickhead, we're not gonna fucking. They're not gonna even look at you like twice. They'll be like, no, "This guy
Right.
sucks." We don't care if you're a YouTuber. Name one giant YouTuber who's never been to a Drift Appalachia event. Anybody
Lemon-
can. Huh?
Mhm.
Yeah, Lemon Zest. Lemon Zest has never been to a Drift Appalachia event.
Yeah. But,
Right?
yeah. So but it's like, it's such a cool thing, and what I was just trying to get at was like, you guys want it to continue, like, you don't want it to be like a one and done thing, like, oh, this was a
Oh,
really
no,
cool
yeah.
event, and Edgar's been around a while, and he knows, like, he's seen everything come and go, so he's the guy that's like, okay, I know how to make how this thing work. It may not be the most, it may not, how do I put this? It may not be like the most accessible. It may not be like the most flamboyant event, but this will be the format that we're gonna do is the way that it has to be for it to actually work and be a thing we do year after year, and
Yeah,
it to actually make sense.
100%. And that's the thing, right? Like, we don't. It's actually cheap to drive Drift Appalachia. If you think
Mhm.
about it, I think it's like $550. I'm not a driver, so I don't know, but it's
Yeah.
very cheap,
Yeah.
right? And because we want it to be accessible to drivers who have been around or who are coming up
Mhm.
who are good, because we could charge $1,000
Mhm.
and still people would show up. We
Yeah.
we could probably charge $2,000 if people would show up,
Right.
But that's not what we're about. We want people who are great drivers who want to experience something that is unique. It's still unique, even
Right.
if there's other toge events. Like, this is unique. This is actual mountain roads that are shut down that you can drift. And like you said, there needs to be specific things that the driver meets, because first of all, we don't want people to die on the mountain.
Right.
And we don't need somebody's clout. We don't need any of that. This initially was supposed to be kind of like not a big thing out there, right? It was just, hey, we have this thing, we can shut down these roads. Let's get these drivers that we know that we've drifted with for the past 20 years to come out
Right.
and drive. And it kind of was like, oh, well, I want to do this too. Like, okay, well, you can come out. Oh, I want to do this too. Okay, well, you can come out. So, like, there's pro drivers that have like asked to drive and told no, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
this is not a FD track. This is not your local whatever grassroots track. This is a dangerous thing. You could get hurt. People could get hurt. You need to show that like you have a sensible head in your brain, or a sensible brain in your head, that you're gonna be safe. So
Yeah.
I just want to say, Herbie has been frozen the entire time for me
Since the beginning.
Since the beginning, with the biggest smile on your face, lean forward, and I just feel like everything that I've said, Herbie has just been like super excited about.
Oh my gosh.
Nope,
Well,
I'm cool
let's
with
just pretend that's his reaction, because you don't need to know what he actually is thinking.
I look over at the other one, and he's just sitting there like,
I'm listening. What do you want
"Oh
me to say?
But no, it's like I said, it's been one of my favorite events I've gone to in the last years. So I want to thank you guys for putting that on, and I would hope to come to more. That's the plan. But I think we're getting to this time of the show where it is Andy Luck story time.
All right, I have a
And
couple Andy Luck stories. So.
yeah, well, Andy's a great character to have stories about. But I'm curious to see what your stories are from your media side, because he's
Well, you
technically
already
not. He's
you
not.
already dropped the one.
Yeah, because he's not the head of media. Let's just point that out there. He's like head of FD for like running the actual
Like,
event.
yeah, operations.
Yeah, so like we have our own boss, you could say, at FD. This year, what was the guy's name?
Jonathan Wong.
Yeah, Wong.
Yeah,
so
John Wong.
Wong,
So the Andy story that I told at St. Louis, that wasn't Andy Luck. That was
no,
Andy from back in the day.
yeah. So like that used to be.
Oh, my fault. Yeah.
So that used to
yeah.
be used to be Andy and AJ that ran
AJ.
media and FD.
Yeah.
AJ and Andy.
Yeah.
Ah,
So
okay.
now it's Wong. But so technically we aren't his or supposed to be his problem. So
Right.
I'm curious to see what your stories are about.
Okay, so my first run in, and people told me, watch out for Andy Luck. And I was like, when I first shot, my first FD round was
Yeah.
FD Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was like, watch out for Andy Luck. And I had seen who he was, I knew of him. I was sitting in the keyhole, and the guy next to me, I was like super nervous. I had my camera ready, I had my vest on. I see Andy Luck coming down the way, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Here comes that guy everybody told me to worry about. And he walks by me, and the guy next to me had his vest in his back pocket in the keyhole. And I'm like, oh shit. And he just walks up to me. He's like, hey, where's your vest at? And the guy's like, it's in my back pocket. He's like, okay, yeah, where's it supposed to be? He's like, supposed to be wearing it. He's like, yeah, you know better than this. You've been around a while. So you're done shooting for the day. You can come back tomorrow. And this is like before the event even started. And I'm like, oh fuck. Like I was sitting there like cowering. He's not even talking to me, right? Because like this is my first FD event. Competition hasn't like I think it's qualifying. Qualifying hasn't even started. And I'm just like, fuck, I cannot fuck up. This guy's gonna kick me out.
Right.
Like, and to this day, it's been 7 years since I started shooting FD, like officially, whatever. I'm still terrified of Andy Luck. So either last year or 2 years ago, I was shooting on the wall at Irwindale.
Yeah.
My next 2 stories are Irwindale stories. I was shooting on the wall at Irwindale where the bank is, and I saw a guy walk down with a vest that didn't look like ours. You guys know the vest that we get.
Yeah, and then sometimes
like,
it's like, all right, there could be a track guy or something.
Yeah, but it had a kid with it was a young kid with a backpack on and a camera, and I'm like,
okay,
something don't seem right about this. And I was like looking, and I was like, nah, no way. So I texted Eggert. I was like, hey, yo, I took a picture of him, right? I was like, and I texted Eggert. I was like, hey, yo, there's this kid up here that doesn't have a vest on. Like, he's got his own vest. And I didn't hear anything from Eggert because he's up in the booth judging.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm just shooting, and all of a sudden, here comes Andy. And I'm like, oh no. And he goes, right? He's like waves at us like it's me and somebody else shooting. And I'm like, hey. And he goes, because this kid was like way past the curve where like, the cutoff
Where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. And he goes up to him, he talks to him. He's like, way down there. And he just walks by with this kid, and this kid just looks defeated. And Andy goes, and I hear Andy as he's walking by, how old are you? And the kid goes, 15. And he's like, oh, so and you're underage. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh.
and so they walk by, and then I ended up finding out, they kicked the kid out or whatever. I was like, damn. But then this last year, you guys, I don't know if you were in the center pocket. Everybody knows that.
I saw it happen, but I didn't hear like what he actually said.
No, they stopped drifting, right? Everything stopped. This was like this was like right before top 16 was supposed to start.
Yeah.
And there was a kid in the box with us, and I was talking to, I forget who I was talking to, but I was like, hey, that guy, I don't know that guy. And usually like we know all each other, we'll see each other in like the media meeting. And I was like,
I don't know that.
And then I saw something on his back, and I was like, what is that guy's vest saying? And like, oh yeah, he's not supposed to be out here. And I was like, oh shit. So I took a picture of it, right? And I sent it up to Eggert again, and I was like, yo, check this out. Oh my god. I was like, yo, this dude fucking snuck in. And then here comes Andy on the fucking golf cart, and he's like, hey, let me talk to you. And he had maintenance on the back, right? It just said maintenance. He was wearing a backpack to try to cover it up.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, so guess what? You're going to jail tonight. And I was like, oh. He's like, you going to jail tonight. You know why you're going to jail tonight? You know how Andy talks. And
real quick and angry.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know. He's like, you go to jail because you were stupid. I was like, oh shit. So like, he let this kid have. He's like, you see all these people out here, they're waiting to see drifting, but we can't drift because you're out here being stupid. So, and then he was like asking him, did you go to the driver's meeting? He's like, did you know you were supposed to like sign up? And he's like, oh yeah, I knew. He's like, so you knew, so you intentionally were stupid. So you're just stupid on purpose. I was like, damn, dude.
Stupid it on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh my
Crazy.
So he's like, so now you're gonna go to the police station. You know that, right? You're gonna get arrested. I was like, ew, Andy.
Yeah.
And yeah, they put him on the golf cart, and that dude looked so sad when they were driving him away. Like on the back of the, he's just like,
You know he had some Snapchats out saying like this is sick, all this shit, and
yeah,
then
he's
just
like,
ends
look how
up,
cool I am.
yeah, it gets arrested.
Yeah. So those are my
Oh,
only Andy Luck stories because I try my best to avoid Andy Luck.
Dude,
Yeah.
but it's like one of those things where it's inevitable. You're gonna be involved with him somehow. It's just
Oh yeah, I mean, I hang out with Eggert a lot, especially like
Mhm.
after the events. So like I'll see him and he'll say what's up to me when I'm in like the staff area or whatever, right? I'm
Yeah,
not supposed to be back there, but I sort of can, right?
yeah, right.
I'm like I usually just say, "Oh, Eggert's my dad," and nobody fucking knows the difference, which is really weird. I was just like, "That's my dad." They're like, "Oh, okay." Okay, so
You
I'm
can
pretty
tell.
sure, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, like,
Yeah,
half the
yeah.
FD staff think that I'm Brian Eggert's son, which is weird. But
It's in the eyes. Are you looking at my ass? Are
yeah,
you looking at my...
we both have the same ass. He always says he's like 1% African, and so am I. So kind of like
Okay.
yeah.
Now that you mention it, I can see a little.
Don't we look the same? So he every year at the banquet he has a shirt, and I know he's not gonna watch this because he's old, but like he has a shirt of something that has Andy Luck on it. So I think
Right.
next year for the banquet I'm gonna have a shirt with Brian Eggert's face on it.
I like that.
I think I gotta
That'd be great.
Over that. Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Because we all he's the senior judge.
Oh, yeah.
Now for Formula Drift, so we always say he's like senior judge. Every time he emails me, I just email him back. I'm like, yes, honorable senior judge Brian Eggert.
He was like one of the first people I feel like that was like important to me in drifting that I got to meet like
Yeah.
way early on, and it was thanks to like Ricky Hoffman really
Oh, yeah.
ultimately like because he would just give him shit all the time too. It started at such an early time that
Yeah.
like and then like because of Ricky, then my boys like I got to meet Ricky, but because of Alex and Matt, and then like
Yeah.
next thing you know, we were picking up Ricky's piece of shit car going to a US Drift event, and we showed up, and they were like, "Are you kidding me? like we can't we're going to, but like we can't pass this."
Oh,
Like,
dude!
this thing
Shout
is
out,
so-
shout out to the US Drift guys like Collins and Schneider and Ben. Like they've been around forever. Like if I
Yeah.
was watching, every once in a while I'll go through like the old like drift videos because I wasn't around back then, right? I watched it on TV a little bit, but I was in the drag racing, so I'll go
Right.
watch the old like keep drifting fun videos, and I see these fucking this short guy and this fucking mean looking guy, and I'm like, cool, that's Schneider and Collins. I can just notice like their silhouettes right now, and like these guys have been around forever. Brian Eggert has been around forever. He was Team Rowdy. Now he's a fucking judge. Like
Mhm.
Yep.
he was the one that was driving the Corolla testing Road Atlanta for FD's layout.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
he had the camera that he stole from his dad. Like that I hate that Brian wants to be so low key about stuff because he has some of the fucking coolest stories about shit.
100%.
Right? Like
He is a very humble man for
yeah,
sure.
and he knows everybody says like Jared. I'm surprised we haven't talked about Jared at all this podcast, but Jared has a lot of like good history in his mind about drifting, but so does Brian. Like
Mhm.
Eggert has so much stuff that he could talk about, and he doesn't. He was on the Outer Zone, the podcast
Yep.
that we don't talk about here, and he didn't bring up for one at all that he runs US Drift. Didn't plug it anything. I'm like, why didn't you do that? Like as the creative director for US Drift, I'm
Right.
sitting there the whole time like, why the fuck didn't you say anything? You should have said something about it. And he's like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, all right. Like when he told me he let me run the Instagram page, I'm like, cool. So like, what are the rules that you want me to do? Like follow? He's like, I don't care what you do. You can't make it any worse than it already is. I'm like,
Right.
that's funny because I can.
Yeah.
I didn't, right? Because I wanted to
To
grow
do a good
myself.
job.
Yeah. But that's just how he is. He does not give a shit. He's got his hands in everything, and if one thing doesn't work out, he'll move on to the next one. And he's just constantly going, and I'm just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, he makes it happen.
He does.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Well, we have hit 2 hours.
All right, let's keep going. Let's hit 4.
Yeah.
Chuck looks like he might be sweating a little.
Sweating? No.
Yeah.
Am I?
Just a little bit.
It's probably all that. I drank like half a bottle of whiskey while you're saying.
What kind do you
That's
have? I didn't
So
know.
this is my favorite. This is a Virginia. It's distilled.
Tarnished Truth.
I'm not paid by them, but this is distilled in Virginia Beach. It's called Tarnished Truth.
Okay.
I think you can only buy it in Virginia, but it's my favorite. It's like $50 a bottle.
That's not bad.
Good stuff. It's good stuff.
That's
Damn.
awesome.
I need to get sponsored by them. Maybe they can run an ad in Rec Magazine.
There you go.
There you go. That could be some Tarnished Truth right there.
Brian was talking about. He's like, I want to bring back cigarette ads, and then I forget who it was because he doesn't give a shit, right? He's like
Right.
the old school Marlboro, like F1
Yeah,
car.
they
were
like,
sick.
that's what he's- Yeah. So apparently, like that's illegal. Like you cannot advertise tobacco products in magazines anymore.
You can't,
Nope.
dude.
Think about it. Have you
But you
seen?
can advertise vape and stuff, or
that's-
no?
And straight
that's-
like coochie.
That's
pretty
different.
much.
So nicotine is different from tobacco products, apparently, according to advertising rules.
Really?
Yeah. So like Zyn,
Yeah,
Germ
there's
Zyn's,
no,
like
there's no
problem,
like
but-
smoking cigarette ads on my Instagram.
No, dude. You look at the old Playboy magazines. Every other ad is like a fucking Camel or
Yeah.
an hour
Yeah, dude,
Marlboro.
The camel ads were
Can you have
iconic.
OnlyFans ads on magazines?
Probably.
He's gotta go
I'm
check it out.
texting us the group chat right now. Let's advertise OnlyFans models.
Yeah,
in the-
you could do weed sponsor.
Hey, it's a male dominated market. Makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm just saying.
They would. I'm sure find great partners.
I mean, it's their target demographic. It's a bunch of degenerate guys. You know, it's like
Yeah, but
perfect.
they don't have that much money, so
That's true. They probably can't afford a subscription, right? They're just like,
they got to catch them on like a free subscription, and then like they got their card like on auto renew or some shit.
Yeah,
exactly. Fucking A.
dude, I could fucking sit here and chat with you guys for forever.
Dude, well, that's always the fun part. Like when we're in a box together at FD, it's like, okay, sick. This isn't gonna
Yeah,
be boring at all.
Yeah.
Like when we're stuck in between runs and there's like a 20-minute delay because someone smashed a wall or threw oil all over the place, and we're just sitting in our booth dying of heat.
Yeah.
It's always nice when you're like, okay, so who can we talk shit about today? You know?
Yeah,
It's like,
you're not just sitting there with your thoughts about how hot it is and
I know.
miserable. You know,
it's
it's
like, damn,
all right.
all I've eaten is like some cold fries this whole
Yeah.
weekend. Like,
It's
Yeah,
like,
or we,
all right.
or we consider like what corner worker we're gonna steal water from until we get yelled at again.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Which one do you think has the most? Who's feeling pretty chill today?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's true.
it is always a good time there, and it's definitely been a pleasure meeting you along the way, sir.
I mean, pleasure's a high praise to be fair for him, but
I don't know about pleasure. It's probably been an experience.
we're
That's what I'll say.
like, oh look, the weenie's here again. That's great, you know.
Fuck you. When are you gonna come out with some link pants, dude? I'll buy link pants.
Bro, I'm just
Every time I see Nate, he's got a link hat on, a link shirt on, a link jacket. No
Yeah.
link pants.
No link pants, dude. The link tracksuit like sweatpants would go hard.
Dude,
They
a
would.
full link tracksuit. I'd buy
with their little speed lines or whatever in the logo
Yeah.
just down the leg.
Yeah.
Get Travis Reeder on here, bro. Travis, I feel so bad for Travis. I love that dude.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
hoping that he wants a PRI, right?
he'll be on
Yeah.
next year, early next year. I already talked to him about it, so
Yeah,
It's a long time away.
Yeah, it's only next
yeah.
week.
But he's
But-
actually he's got a really cool thing going on, so I'm actually excited for him to talk about it. It's a little bit it's different. It's a long conversation, honestly.
Yeah.
He talked to me about it during PRI, so there's a lot there. So
Yeah, I talked to him at PRI about that, and I was saying I'm not gonna spoil it. I'll let him talk
Yeah.
about it. But like that shit's cool.
Yeah. So he's got a lot going on. So I'm sure he'll be super happy to talk about all that stuff when he comes on. But
This will
yeah,
be fresh for me too.
where
Oh
can
yeah,
people
definitely.
find stuff about Chuck the man? You know, not
Oh, nobody.
Wrecked Magazine, not US Drift.
Exposurebucks.com.
If you want to get chucked, what do you need to check out?
So I tell people to go to like Shutter Slayer on Instagram
Yeah.
or on YouTube, but I'm always so busy, like working for Hyperfest or for US Drift or for
Yeah.
Wrecked, that I don't really ever post on there. But if you want to reach out to me and ask me questions about photography, hit me up on Instagram.
You got some stories.
He'll
sometimes.
definitely hide the truth from you just to keep you down. That's what he'll do. So
That's not true at all.
Chuck is very honest.
I'm honest to a fault, and a lot of people don't like that about me. That I will tell you like, "Hey, your shit sucks," and this is why it sucks. And people will be like, if you take that as like constructive criticism, then you'll probably make a difference and go up. But like,
right.
Yeah.
if you get upset about it, then I'm sorry, that's your fault, and you'll never be successful. So like,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, if I truly can't pinpoint one good thing I like about this, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, like I can
If
tell
I
you
could,
right now.
if I could find one nice thing, I'll tell you that there's something that you got going on. There's a twinkle.
Yeah.
But it's,
The funny thing is though, like if I tell you like, hey, this sucks, and you take it the wrong way, I know you'll never be successful.
yeah,
It's
100%.
true.
Yep.
And like,
And that's happened to me. I don't want people to tell me. I see it all the time on social media, like, oh, this shit looks great. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, oh, the comments are like, this is great, this is fire, and I'm looking at like, that looks like shit. Like,
Yeah,
don't fucking blow smoke up these guys' asses if they're bad.
right.
Obviously,
don't like it.
Yeah, don't like it. Like, don't say it in public, but like,
Just
Mhm.
don't
blow
carry on.
smoke up their ass. Just
scroll
to the
past.
next one. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
just
Scroll to the
scroll
next
past.
one.
It's all good.
I mean, to be fair, I do have to like. I'm obligated to like Herbie's post though, so like no matter what I think, just
That's because he's good.
Contract.
That's what I always
Contractually.
like. I always see if Matt actually likes my post because like I have his page on my thing
Yeah.
too. So like if I post something, I wait to see and I don't tell him like on mine. And then if he likes it, that makes me. It's like a proud dad. Honestly.
There you go.
It's like, all right, that's an organic like right there.
Yeah. To be
it's
fair,
not me going on the page and boosting my stats.
To be fair, I'm a terrible person when it comes to social media because I don't like or share or do anything because I feel like it's bad. It's like a weird complex where like I feel like if I like someone else's post, then people get mad because I don't like something else. Or like,
oh, see,
like,
I don't care about that, but
Yeah.
I'm really bad at it. So like I've had friends that I've been friends with for like 4 or 5 years that
Yeah.
I didn't realize that I didn't follow them until I like, because I
Yeah.
just like either see somebody's stuff through my recommended or I search
Mhm.
them or it's sent to me and I'm like, oh yeah, your stuff's good, and then I like actually search them at some point. I'm like, oh fuck, like I don't
Yeah.
follow you, my bad. Like
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
it's definitely. I'm in that position with like a couple of people that I've known for the longest time, but now it's like to the point that like I'm too afraid to like follow them.
Oh,
For
I
that
know.
notification
Oh yeah,
to
you're like,
pop
oh
up.
Yeah.
shit,
Like-
Herbie.
like-
We've been best
Yeah.
friends forever, and
Yeah,
now
right,
you
it's-
follow.
Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh man.
I just straight up tell people like I'm really bad at that. Like I forget to follow people. Like
Well, some of the like I forget who it was recently. I thought it was honestly like I had to double check, but I have never unfollowed Nate. But like someone like that, there was like another like more popular person that like I just unfollowed over the years because I was like I'm never gonna meet them.
Right.
I'm never gonna have a relationship with them. And then next, like it was like I just right after I unfollowed them, I like met that person and like we had a great time. Like I was like, damn. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
Like that just seems like if
If-
I feel like now
if
I'm a
people
dick rider
take
now.
those-
It's like
if-
it's like,
yeah. If people take follows like too personal, like do I really
Yeah.
want to be their friend? Like I don't care. If my friends don't follow me, I don't give a shit. Right? Like I don't care.
Yeah.
But one thing that I saw the other day was Gretty follows me.
okay, tough.
And I didn't realize that, and I'm building an E46, and I kind of like some Gretty parts of the car, and I was like, oh shit, I didn't follow Gretty back, so I just low key. They commented on something. I was like low key followed them back. I was like, hopefully this
Yeah.
leads to a partnership. I don't know.
Yeah. make you look like it's like, oh, all right, you follow me first. I remember they followed the Gas Factory page way back in like fucking 2015 or 16 or some shit like that, and
Yeah.
like I was like, what the? I'm like, I'm just posting everybody. Oh, like, it's not even dedicated to it, but like I feel like that was also too when you could click a hashtag and it actually did something.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
you click a hashtag and it shows you a like you could hit the recent and it's like recent from like 2022 and it's a reel or something. It's like
Yep.
what the fuck
And
is this?
that's one of the reasons why I've like shifted. Like, I don't make money off photography. I make money off of social media, like consulting, because people don't realize how the algorithms work. Like, I won't say which companies posted at PRI, but one posted a really cool video and the other posted a text document, and the text document did better with 0 hashtags. Right? And it's
Yep.
because of the timing and how you it's just there's a lot that goes. I don't want to give away my secrets because this is a good money maker and it's actually
Right.
super easy and it's easy to figure out. So if anybody wants to be a social media person, like, it's very easy. But yeah, I and that's what I sell. I was like, look, I don't know how to tell you. I don't understand it myself. I just kind of have a feeling for what's going to be good and the timing. Just trust me. And when Hyperfest originally hired me, I'll show you guys the chart, but the stats for interactions went like this to like this, and then my job title changed to reel maker, and it went like
Yeah.
this. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, I don't know what to tell you guys, but
Yeah.
you gotta.
It's a lot of trends. That's the problem. Is
It's
social
trends.
media? Obviously, I do it as a job too, and it's like
Yeah.
the problem with social media is it's never the same in 6 months.
No. Yeah. Exactly. You just have to be changing all the time. You cannot follow one trend. You have to be at the edge of it and ride
Yeah.
the wave all the way. And if you try to like maintain it, it's not gonna work out for you. It's just
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's just one of those jobs that is always changing and learning. But again, I do have some things I need to get to tonight.
you don't lie.
But that's the problem is I do, unfortunately. And you
All right,
have
Herbie,
a
let's
job
take
to
it
do
out.
tonight. So,
What's
granted,
his
it probably
job?
doesn't start till a couple hours, but.
Oh, all that stuff's done, dude.
Oh,
Are you
yeah?
kidding me?
Oh,
I'm not waiting till the last second. That kid's asleep right now, I'm sure, hopefully.
Santa?
Yeah,
Are
I got
you-
Santa.
Oh, you dress up?
Hell no.
Oh,
What am I gonna dress up for?
Santa.
I
I
know.
thought that you were dressing up as Santa Claus for. No.
He's not going to put that much
Herbie.
effort into it, bud.
Herbie, I love you so much. You'll learn one day.
You'll learn one day.
I don't know. At this rate, I have no signs of learning any day soon, dude.
Well, that's our goal next year. Get Herbie a wife and a kid.
No, I think that I'd
Oh, there's a
rather have
lot
the
of
goal-
them out there with kids. I'm sure he could adopt one. Like,
There you go. Yeah, just roll in.
Listen, guys, I'd rather just focus on potentially making a little more money. That would be that sounds a lot cooler.
Yeah, don't go the other path then, because it's not
No.
gonna work out.
Yeah, that's the opposite end.
yeah, that's a money lever.
Yeah, it's
Option.
not even laundering. Doesn't even cycle back. It's just gone.
Exactly. Malik, thank you for the comments, by the way. It was a pretty,
Alright, well,
pretty
Nate-
fire
Nate-
stream.
Thank you for having me on the stream. When you sent me the invite, I was like, hell yeah. This is the first time I've been on like any podcast or interview or live
Oh,
stream.
yeah.
So like,
Oh, I had to find someone that didn't have anything to do on Christmas, which is.
and you know exactly who doesn't. If I have something to do, it's from right here. So
Right. No, it's
Hell
like
yeah.
I was like, all my stuff is tomorrow that I got to do, so it's like I'm actually free today, so it
Yeah.
worked out. But
Yeah.
I have to confirm with our next guest next week, but it could be another media related one, and it could be a lot of fun. So that's all I can say about next week.
Hell yeah. Well, if Sarah can't make that one, let me be a panelist.
There
I'll
you go.
fucking roast whoever the fuck it is.
Oh yeah, and you know him, so.
Yeah.
But Again, I want to thank everyone
don't even know
for
who
that
it
did
is.
come in. I hope you all have a great Christmas. Or if you watch this on a playback, I'm sorry that you had to watch Chuck for so long, but it's okay. But yeah, thank you
Merry
again, Malik.
Christmas, Malik.
And also
Merry Christmas, Malik.
thank you, Herbie, for hanging out as well. I wish
Hey,
you.
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Dang, Herbie, like you gotta tell me some style, like
Pomade.
tips, dude. Pomade? Okay, I gotta get
That's what
God.
All
keeps
right,
it in
hey,
place.
wait. We're gonna do this right, Nate. You have to wait 8 seconds after whatever the last
Is
thing
it
you
is
say
it always awkward? Because I never actually watched
Every
the end.
time you're like talking and then it just cuts off, and I'm like, oh man, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Yeah.
Like you need to have like an outro. Like have an outro
like
that you can play.
Narcolepsy.
Yeah, like what I could do is I could play the intro videos, that I play
Yeah.
in the streams.
Yeah, just play it as an outro.
That's what I'll do, even though I don't
There
have
you
one
go.
for you. So we're
we
just
could
gonna
be
do